It's now time for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m. Starring Ryan Ermanni, Michigan great and former NFL baller Braylon Edwards, and of course, Tom Mazaway. Let's talk some sports.
Good afternoon, Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Ryan Ermanni won't be joining us today, but Braylon Edwards is back in the building. I'm joined by Tom Mazaway, who you'll see once the video comes up is supporting Team USA. Today, Tom Mazaway celebrates 44 years Miracle on Ice. Also joined by Anson Wells. We'll get that to a second. How you feeling today, buddy?
I'm good, man. Happy Miracle Day.
Appreciate that, man.
44 years ago, man. Can't believe it.
It's one of the
1980. I graduated high school in 1980.
Wasn't even born yet.
See?
Wasn't
you
even
weren't
born
even
yet.
a gleam.
I was born yesterday, actually.
You were.
On the 21st
right,
of February.
41.
41,
We mentioned it
21st.
yesterday.
Great number. Appreciate that. The crazy
Mine
thing
was on the
about
weekend.
Miracle on Ice, Maz, is I think when you're young, and especially if you didn't grow up in that era, you never realize until you watch Kurt Russell, the Miracle on Ice movie in Disney,
Watch Miracle, guys.
that the celebration wasn't even the championship.
Right.
It's the semifinals.
Yes. Right.
I think I was, Anson, I want to say maybe 24 before I realized that, oh wait, that wasn't even the championship. That was a precursor to the championship. I bring in Anson. Anson, how you doing, buddy?
I'm great, man. It was the same deal for me. I mean, we've obviously all heard about it. We've all grown up with the lore and the story of it, but it was the movie that shed the light on it for me. But that was the Russians, the Soviets, they were the team to beat.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
100%, man. So
Fantastic day. It's still the greatest game in my lifetime. I think it's one of the greatest games ever played, especially here in the States.
And 100%, like, man, so explain the tape delay at the time. Because the actual game itself, did it come on in early morning or something
it
along
came
those
on like
lines?
at 5 in the afternoon.
Okay,
It was at 5 in the afternoon, Lake Placid, New York. And I was in Jersey at the time. And we didn't get a chance to see it until 8 o'clock that night because ABC, who had the Olympics that year, Howard Cosell, of course, Jim McKay. They had to throw it to Al Bino. Al, we got Al.
100%.
Al Michaels finally cutting his teeth. He was a baseball guy. And they're like,
Al started in baseball?
Yeah, he's a baseball guy.
I never knew that.
Started in Hawaii as a baseball guy. Even.
Hawaii?
He was a good baseball announcer. And they finally said, hey, no one really knows about hockey.
Right.
Al, you know a little bit about hockey? He says, yeah, I know a little bit about hockey. I'm a hockey fan.
Okay.
And he's a big L.A. Kings fan. He lives out in L.A. He's like, I'll do it. So they stick Ken Dryden, the great goaltender of the Montreal Canadiens, on the broadcast with him. They're like, you go to the ice rink and you're going to be covering the Olympics. No one in a million years thought the U.S. was going to do anything.
Yeah.
So they just thought, oh, this is going to be covering the Soviets, the Czechoslovaks,
Those
the
guys
Swedish,
were pros,
the
man.
Finns.
We had like
Right.
college guys.
We had college guys.
Yeah.
And if you watch the movie, guys, it's a fantastic story. And Herb Brooks, who was a great coach,
AKA
University
Kurt
of Minnesota.
Russell.
Kurt Russell
There you go.
was Herb Brooks. And I'm gonna read this to you guys. And Pete, you can put it up. You can put Herbie Brooks' speech up. Here it is. Here's what he told his team. This is after they lost like 10-1 to the Soviets the week
smacked.
before at Madison Square Garden.
Very much like the movie Mighty Ducks 2, by the way. Just throwing that out.
He says, great moments are born from great opportunity. That's what you have here tonight, boys. That's what you've earned here tonight. One game. If we played them 10 times, they might win 9. But not this game. Not tonight. Tonight, we skate with them. Tonight, we stay with them. And we shut them down because we can. Tonight, we are the greatest hockey team in the world. You were born to be hockey players, every one of you. And you were meant to be here tonight. This is your time. Their time is done. It's over. I'm sick and tired of hearing about what a great hockey team the Soviets have. Screw them. This is your time. Now go out there and take it. And they went out there and they skated with those Soviets, USSR.
Yeah.
Came up with a late second period goal with 1 second left. McClanahan scores to tie the game. And the great Tretiak, the goaltender, looked human.
Yeah, he did.
And what did Viktor Tikhonov do in between periods, the Russian coach? He benched the best goaltender in the world because he gave that goal up.
Yeah.
And they brought in Mushkin. And Eruzione scored the winner with about 8 minutes to go in that game. and it was the longest 8 minutes countdown that you could imagine.
Yeah.
But they got it done, and they won that damn game. And it's, I get the chills just thinking about it.
That was great revenge for the 1972 basketball matchup between the
That
U.S.
was stolen.
and Russia, which the final seconds were replayed 3 different times.
What a
It was
disaster.
the only time that we had lost in the whole, the whole century. And, growing up as a huge basketball fan, I heard that story over and over again. And so it was cool to be able to take one back from them that we weren't supposed to, because they certainly weren't supposed to beat us in basketball.
Doug Collins on that team, Swen Nader. They've never picked up their silver medals.
Yeah,
They did not want their silver medals.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
They were cheated.
Yeah, you're talking about a team that dominated for the better part of 30 years. The way in which the Russians did hockey at the time, I can't think of the coach, but that coach, you just mentioned his name, like the
Herb Brooks.
system. No, I'm talking about the Soviets.
Oh,
like
Viktor Tikhonov.
There you go, Tikhonov. The system that he put in place, he really changed the game, and it was worked for 30 years, and then he lost to Team USA. I think we had a couple of Red Wings on that team too.
That's right.
If my memory serves me correct.
yeah.
Also want to say hello to JB in the studio as well as Pete Spivak. Anson, have you ever had a coach? I know you played sports along the way. Have you ever had a coach that embodied that speech to where not necessarily the same thing where you guys would be lesser than another team, but just he made you believe something. You gave you a pregame speech, and you guys went out there and played a little beyond yourself, if you will.
I wish. I'm going to pat myself on the back on this one, because I didn't ever really have that coach. I had a pretty great track coach in high school, but in terms of organized team sports, I was a high school head coach for 4 years, and I took over a program that.
So you were the guy who gave the speeches.
I think I was, man. To be honest with you,
give me your best situation.
Well, we had never had a winning record when I took over, and they were going to disband the team. And my cousin was he was a senior, and he's like, "Please, I want to play," So our first 2 years we struggled, and our 4th year we went on the road and won all the tournaments in the Midwest to be considered the best. And my center was 6 foot. We had a little team. We were not supposed to be there, and I changed our name. We didn't have a mascot, so I called us the Robots. I'm like, we're going in there with one purpose.
Okay.
Like, these guys aren't looking at us. They think that we're easily beat. They don't see a big guy on the team, and we're going to go in there with one purpose, and we're going to win. And we did, man. We won that championship game by 1 point, and it was really one of the best things that I ever did. And those boys still, to this day, 15 years later, will hit me up asking for advice. Yeah. So at some point I reached them, and I can't really say I ever really had that coach. I'm sure that you did. I'd love to hear yours. I'd really love to hear who yours was.
I'm start calling you Anson Brooks over there. Before we get to myself, Pete, JB, any of you guys have a moment like that where a coach gave you guys, your team, gave you some insight or gave you a speech that you guys played beyond yourself and you got the dub?
Pete, I'll let you go first, because I don't really have anything. Pete, go ahead.
Yeah, in my first year of Little League Baseball, we got a speech that we're going up against the #1 team. I was a Louisville Slugger. And we got a speech that we're going up against the #1 team. And you guys, basically, the coach said, literally, he goes, "You guys have no excuse not to win." He goes, "Go out there and win the game, because I know you guys can," and we did. I mean, it was just that simple, but he put the confidence in us knowing that we were going up against the best team.
I was an Easton guy myself when it comes to those bats back in the day.
Yes, Easton.
Yeah. Come on, man. You know what time it is. I was an Easton guy, man. Trying to think, man. Like, Lloyd gave us a good speech before we played Ohio State my junior year. We had lost to him when Jim Tressel first got there. We lost to him freshman year, his first year, 2001. And it was a big deal because Jim Tressel came in January and said, we're going to beat that team up north. And they did. They beat us my freshman year. They beat us again my sophomore year. And they won the national championship. So Lloyd, my junior year, here's Ohio State. They're undefeated again. They're going for the second national championship. And he gave us like this, like to this day I get chills just thinking about it. He was like, look, I'm not going to give you one of those speeches, which he ended up doing. It was reverse psychology. But he said, look, you guys know who you are. You know who that team is. Do you want it or not? I can't want it for you.
Yeah.
Like, all I can do is prepare you, which I have. All your coaches can do is prepare you, which they have. Do you guys want it? Do you want to be the team that hoists that trophy? Do you want to be that team that represents the Big Ten in the Rose Bowl? And it was more so, it was about us. I think he took it off himself. He took it off the nation. He took it off of, the thought process. It was, do you want it or don't you? And We wanted it.
Was that your favorite win in college?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Because it was the only time I beat Ohio State. And I went to Michigan because of my father. And growing up, you know what it's about. It's the rivalry. It's Ohio State. It's Michigan. So I finally got a chance to play and it lost. Got a chance to play again and lost. So here we are.
Were those close games, those losses?
Yeah, they were. Like my freshman year, we should have won each game, and they should have won. Like that's how it is. Like we lost
back and forth.
We lost by 3 my freshman year, 4 freshman year. Marquise Walker, love him to death. Like he was an amazing wide receiver. He was wide open on the post route with like a minute left, and he dropped it in the end zone. Like it happens. I dropped the pass my senior year on 4th down that I should have had and completed. I dropped it. It happens. Should have won that one sophomore year. We lost by 4 again. We beat them my junior year, but it was amazing. But the coaches, Herb Brooks, Lloyd Carr, doesn't matter. Coaches speak to you. Anson Wells. Like coaches speak to you in a different way. I think you look for that leadership, you look for that guidance, and a coach can really get you to step outside yourself. And no better way to talk about it, Team USA. You know what I'm saying? You wear the jersey proudly 44 years ago.
Once a year at least I wear it.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll tell you, can you imagine what Jim Harbaugh told his guys this year? After all the crap that they had to go through.
Speaking of that, hold on. Speaking of that.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. So Anson and I had I'll let him do his deal. We had a great conversation that got a little heated. At Stick's house, this is right when the height of the Counter Stallions, what's going on, what's Michigan going to do. And this is actually even before Jim got suspended.
Yep.
Like this is right around 2 games before the suspension. And, you know, you and I had conversations. We exchanged. We started talking about institutions. You took it back to the 1800s on us talking about Michigan State, the agriculture school. And I love it.
That's right.
But here we are. Something has happened since the last time I saw you. I'll let you go. What would you like to say?
Well,
For
first
good
of
or
all, I
bad?
would like to congratulate you on a
appreciate
national
that.
championship and bringing that back home to the state of
Can
Michigan.
I ask you one question about that?
Sure.
Is it in your opinion, and this you can be 100% honest, which I know you will be, is there an asterisk by the national championship?
Yeah, because there was nobody
shut
good
his
this
mic.
year in the
Shut his
SEC.
mic off. Shut his
Not
mic
because
off.
of the cheating,
Okay.
because they didn't. Georgia wasn't there. That was a team that
They
they should
lost
have
to
played.
Alabama, who Michigan beat.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
You know, but honestly, no. There's nothing I can take away from that win. They got caught doing what I think most teams are doing already. However, I will congratulate you.
I appreciate that.
Even though it's dressed in the wrong colors, that championship. But I got to say, I was right about something when we got heated. And I said that both teams would be looking for new coaches this summer.
You did say that.
So I'll take the pat on the back and I'll shake your hand for the congratulations, man. But an awesome win for you guys, an incredible season. At the end of the game, as badly as I wanted you all to lose, I'm very happy for that championship to come back to the state of Michigan. So congratulations.
I really appreciate that, man. That's very big of you. And I think
I don't believe him.
Nah. Me and Anson, we
I'm
have
only
discussions.
joking.
Go back a long
I
time.
believe him. 100%. I believe him. I think, and that was most people, like even the people that hate Michigan or even the people that are Sparties or Ohio State or whatever, I think once you saw that clock ticking down and you were able to kind of process, look, suspended Harbaugh, no Penn State, on the road, like legitimately as he's on the flight, suspend him, no Ohio State, you got to go against Ryan Day, and they beat Ryan Day without Jim Harbaugh. I don't care who's coaching during the week. They beat him. Ryan Day has the opportunity to get it done. Then they beat Alabama. Yes, they weren't necessarily the best Alabama version of themselves, hence why Nick Saban, he's retiring. Like, he's over the NIL. He's over all those type of things. They beat Alabama. Once you start to kind of see it play out, it's like, you know what? Like, I hate these guys, but bravo. It is what it is. Kudos, and you move on. Also, man, everybody's excited because they don't think Michigan has a chance this year with the schedule coming up.
That's
Oregon, UCLA, not
tough.
UCLA, but Oregon, USC, Texas, who I think is the best team in the country. Anson, thoughts on that?
And Ohio
And
State.
what, 18 guys invited to the combine too,
Yeah.
right?
The record.
That's 18
right,
guys
the
that aren't
record.
going to be on that team anymore.
That's impressive.
That's tough, man. And then you lose your coaches, too. And I think Sharon Moore's done a decent job so far at hiring new coaches, but it's tough to replace an icon. It's one thing to replace a coach.
Sure.
It's another thing to replace an icon. Like,
True
Jim
icon.
Harbaugh is, you know, the team, Bo Schembechler. Jim Harbaugh is bigger than Michigan, and he was bigger than Michigan. I think a lot's going to change with Sharon Moore being
So you got
there.
the inside track. Is he gonna give the boot to Herbert and bring his boy JJ to San Diego or what?
Oh, no.
Hell no.
He's
No?
in love
You don't
with
think
him.
so?
No. Justin Herbert is a quarterback. You're talking about 5,000 yards in year 2. You're talking about he's played with 4 different offensive coordinators and still managed somehow to have success, even with Brandon Staley's negligence. So still find a way to have success. Now, I think he's got his quarterback. I think he wants a running back now. Yeah, we know what Jim Harbaugh is. Jim Harbaugh is old school, Bo Schembechler, 3 yards in the cloud of dust.
Yep.
He's looking for Saquon Barkley. He's looking for a running back to replace Austin Eckler. Can you imagine Saquon Barkley with Justin Herbert and that slew of wide receivers?
He's one of my
they
favorites. I'd love to see him have a rebirth somewhere and actually win some games.
100%. Like, man, Saquon Barkley, you add him to that Los Angeles Chargers deal, like, I think that'd be what Jim Harbaugh is looking for.
But let's face it, he's damaged goods. Works out like a warrior. He is, got the body of Adonis.
Yeah.
But doesn't mean that he can stay on the field all year. Same as Eckler. Eckler's a monster.
Yeah.
He looks just like
And they
Saquon
couldn't do
Barkley.
anything with him anyway.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, we did a mock draft yesterday from the 33rd team. And who do you think they had the Chargers picking with their number 1 pick? What position do you think they went for?
Running back.
No.
Oh, wide receiver again?
Tight end.
Brock Bowers. Stud, but I don't see it happening.
He's the best player in the draft.
Can you
think
imagine?
so?
100%.
Really?
I saw Brock Bowers we all saw him, but I watched him 3 years ago closely. He was the best player on the field in the national championship as a freshman. Wow. Then he doubled down the second year and was the best player on the field. Then he comes back a third year. Like, to be honest, you want to talk about the Alabama look. Like, let's be honest. I love Michigan. I love what they did this year. They ended up being the best team. But Brock Bowers and the tight end, the wide receiver, if they don't get hurt, Georgia doesn't lose to Alabama. Georgia wins the national championship in my estimation. But Brock Bowers, he's a man-child. You're talking about a guy that knows all the routes. He's fast. He's explosive. He's strong. Also intelligent. You're talking about a kid that has a 4.2 grade point average. He's from Napa Valley.
Wow.
Man, he's 4.2.
And a great blocker as well.
Yeah, 100%. He can block. He's a hybrid, man, between, like, I think George Kittle and Rob Gronkowski, because he's not as meatheadish, if you will, pause, as Rob Gronkowski, and he's not as Iowa as George Kittle. I think he's somewhere in the middle of that, but he's my favorite player.
So you think that would be an excellent pick for
Hell
them?
yeah.
If he lasts to get to the Chargers.
You're talking about Keenan Allen, who's always injured. You're talking about they just drafted Quinn Johnson out of TCU last year.
And they got Palmer, too.
And they
Palmer's
paid Mike Williams. So you got Palmer, the tight end, 100 number 5. So you got him. You move him, Brock Bowers, man, that's a hell of a move. And then you add a running back in the offseason. I think it could be really good for those guys, man.
So taking their first draft pick ever, a tight end will be okay in your book.
Yeah, because it's him.
Right.
100%. It's Brock Bowers.
I said he's offensive line oriented. So tight end is as close to getting to an offensive lineman that can catch the ball as you can get.
Look at Jim Harbaugh's track record over the last 7, 8, 9 years at Michigan. You're talking about Loveland. You're talking about Jake Butt. You're talking about
right out.
At 100%. Like, he's got a long. I mean, shoot. Just look at the Dallas Cowboys. They got 2 of Michigan's tight ends. So, 100%. I think that's a good move for them.
I think it would be.
I like that Charger situation.
I wish we could get him because we have a great tight end. I'd run a 2 tight end offense if I can get Brock Bowers.
If you had those 2, you'd have to.
You got a stud in Sam Laporta. Like,
I know that.
He's the best in the league right now, isn't he?
Oh,
I mean, aside from Kelsey.
Has to be. You look at the numbers that he put up last year. You look at his consistency. That's what it's about for me. Like, when we sit here and talk about who's the best players, what do I always say, man? For me, it's consistency.
Yeah.
Although it was only 1 year for Sam Laporta, like Anson, he was there every game.
Yep.
And then you look at what happened to the injury before the playoffs. You're like, oh, man, he's got injuries. Still scoring touchdowns.
Yeah.
Still
absolutely.
playing. Still leading.
Not a decoy at all.
No, he's not. He's the guy that you run the offense through.
I mean, you got Ditka, Gronk, and Laporta. Those are the 3, I mean, so much further ahead of everybody else. The 3 greatest tight end rookie seasons ever. And what Laporta did, I mean, not only scoring touchdowns, but catching passes as well, and doing it hurt. The future's so bright for that kid. I mean, you're telling me, though, that you think Brock Bowers will be a better pro?
I'm not going to say necessarily better. Like, coming out of college, I think he's a much better player than Sam Laporta. But what Sam Laporta did in the NFL level adds another value. So I say coming out, like Brock Bowers. But we got to see what Brock Bowers does. We got to see what he does when he gets into a system. You brought up Sam Laporta. Just think about Brad Holmes, I think, because that's what we're going to get into. Now we're 63 days away from the NFL draft. 4 picks inside 93.
Yes, sir.
It's going to be exciting. It's here in Detroit. Just think about the job that Brad Holmes has done so far. You talk about Sam Laporta. 2 guys up for Rookie of the Year last year, Jahmyr Gibbs, Sam Laporta. Like, Brad Holmes is the guy. Am I not correct?
Oh, absolutely. And Brad, we trust.
Yeah.
Not only have they completely overhauled the talent on this team, but in doing so, they've also brought in this brand new culture. And that starts with them, but it continues with the players. But even beyond that, we've never seen player development here in Detroit as Lions fans. And what these guys have done is they've taken great guys at the top of the draft and turned them into studs. But guys like Melifonwu and other guys that are coming later who we're scratching our head. Who are these guys? And next thing you know, they're contributing on an NFC championship. Well,
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah, exactly.
Fourth round draft pick.
I mean, what they've done is tremendous. I expect them to wheel and deal and add some more picks, but whatever they do, it's what you've always wanted as a Lions fan. Let's make some moves. Let's do this. Instead, we always ended up with it's like, Eric Ebron, what are you doing?
His name always comes up.
Absolutely. So I really think that these guys, they've got the pulse on the players. Yeah. The fact that the new guy we were just talking about yesterday is going to be coaching the Senior Bowl.
Yep, Terrell Williams.
Lions are scary, not just on the field, man.
Yeah, you bring up something, you talk about the player development. I think that's actually what happened with University of Michigan. Not trying to bring it back. But Jim Harbaugh struggled in those first years because of development of players. Yep. They would get a Rashawn Gary, who's the number one player in the country. They would get a Jabril Peppers, but then they didn't get any better. Yeah. Then those guys didn't get any better. Then those guys were the same players. Finally, you get the player development and you see what happens. I think that's key for Detroit. But, Maz, you just brought up something to my attention. The player development side of the Lions has been great, but now they're moving 5 guys off that coaching staff. Talk about one of the big names, Dre Bly, friend of mine, brother of mine, known him a very long time. What's going on with the Detroit Lions moving those players? What do you think about the coaching staff? And here we go. If you guys
what was
are
the
watching
weak part of the team last year?
It's defensive backs.
Okay, and where was Dre Bly coaching?
He's a defensive back coach.
There you go. There's your changes. And Dre Bly, unfortunately, is one of those guys that is no longer with the club. There's a few other guys as well, if you could read that. John Fox is one of them.
Oh,
John Fox is gone as well.
The best punter in the league?
No.
I'm joking.
John Fox.
Brian Duker and Jim Hostler.
Yes, the Lions
Thank you, Pete.
100%. You look at Terrell Williams, these are the new additions. Deshae Townsend actually played against Deshae. Deshae was a defensive back for the Pittsburgh Steelers, if I'm not correct.
I'm excited about him. Everybody's talking about Terrell Williams, but what Deshae could bring is exciting.
He's going to take over for Dre Bly, obviously. Yeah. Right?
Look, and I love Dre
Bly.
Put
another cornerback there.
I tell you all the time, when I was in Michigan back in the day, Dre used to hang out with him downtown. Blue was the spot. Baby. You already know it is. Envy, Chocolate City, all those clubs. But you look at the defensive backs, you look at how they play. Eerily similar to the 2004 with Dre Bly. He's going to make a lot of big plays. Gives up a lot of plays, gives up a lot of touchdowns, takes a lot of chances. I think that's what you have. Deshae, I think, is going to be one of those defensive backs that's going to be more locked into technique, fundamentals, not necessarily taking chances, but doing the fundamentals that come with the game to be the best that you can be. So I'm excited to see those new and Terrell Williams, who is at the Senior Bowl. So he's going to get the
big time. He got a lot of intel.
That's what worked, Anson. Right. That's what worked well for the Lions a couple years ago. Yeah. The coaching staff was down at the Senior Bowl. They were able to see some guys. And they made some picks based off that.
And that was right after they had taken over this team.
Yeah, it
couldn't have been a better timing for it, absolutely.
Not only that, man, but the combine starts on Monday. We were talking yesterday. Do you think the Lions brass, Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell, that staff, puts a lot into watching the combine, the Underwear Olympics? By the way, my guy, Cooper DeJean from Iowa, will not participate. In that. People already know what he can do, I guess.
Yeah, 100%. Look, man, I actually chose not to participate in the combine when I was coming out. I already was projected no lower than pick 8. So
can you go into a little more on that? Because, we can go back to Lamar Jackson. And everybody wanted to turn him into a wide receiver or running back. And if he runs a 4.3, the talk on that is even going to be heavier, So we understood why he didn't. Why didn't you go into the combine?
You know what? That's a great question. Let's save that for when we get back. But first, let's get a message in from Woodward Sports merch. That's right. WoodwardSports.com/shop is the best place. Are you tired of the same old merch? Everybody's tired of the same stuff. Going to the same places. You need that new drip. You need that new sauce. Look at these shirts. Stoked and scared. Woodward Sports, you see the colors, you see the logos, you see what we do. Woodward Sports Network, man, we're setting the trend here in the city. You want to get on board, go to WoodwardSports.com/shop. It's the best way. The material is the best. Look, man, the dry fit. Golf season's coming up. A lot of those good quarter zips coming up, man. Check this out, WoodwardSports.com/shop.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
Come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Hey, for over 60 years, Fairway Packing Company has provided Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, and casinos with prime beef, Wagyu beef, and dry-aged beef. Experience the Fairway difference for yourself today. Visit their steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods for grab-and-go steaks, or as always, you can check them out online at fairwaypacking.com.
Welcome back to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Ryan and Marty won't be joining us the rest of the week. Enjoy your time, Ryan. You work hard, you deserve it. We got my man Anson filling in for Maz, and Maz is filling in for Ryan. Before we went to debate, you asked me about the combine and why didn't I participate. You know,
you still got a shot on Monday.
What? You
still got a shot.
No, look, man, I'm 41 now, man. I'm done with that stuff.
You
I'm in shape, though.
You look like you could be out there.
Don't make me take my shirt off.
You can still get it.
Don't make me take my shirt off,
swole,
man.
bro.
A little slower, little slower.
No, swole, I said. Swole, bro.
Take my hoodie off. I think it's one of those situations where you have an agent, you're your agent, you sit down and you assess where's the lowest you've seen. Like, obviously, you get these mock drafts, and you start to depend on the top McShays. Back in the day, it was Merrill Hodge, and obviously Merrill Kiper, Jr., the guru. None of those had me lower than 8. So in my estimation, it was like I played 4 years in college. I didn't get hurt, so there's no reason to worry about that. I had all the stats, had all the numbers, nothing lower than 8. It's like, what am I? You really stand to, I guess, hurt yourself, if you will. If you want to participate, you do it at Pro Day. That way you own the terms. You own, like I did it at University of Michigan. So I had Pro Day. We did it in my terms. I had an extra month of preparation. I went down to the combine. I did bench press. I did like 22, but that was it. I wanted the terms of my own. I think Mike Williams.
How many did you put up? How many reps?
24 at the combine.
Solid for a wideout.
100%. 24. I did 36 in college, but that's when we were
What's the weight?
That's what 225. That's when we were just lifting. That's the weight. Yes, it's a set 225. Okay. 100%. Everybody has to do it. I think Jake Long did like 49 at the combine, like something just dumb. Wow. But you hurt yourself. Like Mike Williams, obviously, Detroit knows about him. They drafted him 10th, the same year as me. But he went. He ran 4.7, and then he ran 4.68. Then he dropped some passes, didn't look.
And we still drafted him.
And then he went to Hunter House.
Well, he was already at Hunter House.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like, what am I trying to prove? Like, I've proved it all. Like, I was All-American, unanimous. So I think for me, we were comfortable knowing that this isn't going to help us. Like, you can only hurt yourself, if you will. You can trip. You can pull a hamstring, blah, blah, blah. So that's why I didn't perform and still went 3rd overall. So I think it's just about where you believe you're going to go. But that's a conversation for your agent, and that's why you pick an agent that you trust, because he's the one really giving you the information. And my agent said, hey, Brandon, I don't think that you need to do this. I would shut it down. So I didn't. Cool. You picked the wrong agent that says, hey, maybe you go out there and do it. Maybe I go out there and not look as good as I wanted to, because the combine is maybe a month and a half after the Rose Bowl. So it's like you don't have necessarily a lot of time to prepare. So that's why I didn't perform, and it worked out for me.
You know, speaking of agents, guys, and Pete, I'm going to bring this up a little early. NFL, we got Caleb Williams, guys. He's got issues.
Oh, he
is something. There's
bust.
Something up with this guy.
He's a bust.
He is going without an agent. Now, Bray, how many number 1 picks in your memory, or top 3 picks, would go into the draft representing themselves? Maybe the Mannings.
Yeah, and they had agents. They had Tom Condon, which is CAA.
So they did have an agent.
Yeah, they had Tom Condon.
What's up with this guy, man?
So look, there's a lot of red flags as it relates. I don't say a lot. There are red flags as it relates to Caleb Williams. I'm interested to get your take on that. There are. This isn't one of them though, and the reason why I say that, Maz, is You see Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson represented himself, and he's a quarterback. They're the same color.
And it went all right for him.
To the tune of $245
It took a while.
It did.
It
But it worked. And also, you look at a guy like Laremy Tunsil. Laremy Tunsil, left tackle for the Houston Texans, he doesn't have an agent. Both times that he's done his deals, he's been the highest paid left tackle of all time. So I think there is.
And he was the highest draft pick too.
Hey, look,
if you know what I mean? Highest.
Everybody smokes.
Yeah.
Everybody smokes.
I know, but he really smoked.
But he did, though. He had the gas mask on.
He had the mask
Trust
on.
me, I've smoked that gas mask.
I can imagine.
It's not really that fun, to be honest.
That's like being in a car filled with smoke, except that you're all by
it's
yourself.
Fun. Hey, Anson, it's fun when you're young. Like when you're young, you do it. It's cool.
Take
boom.
a picture of me, you know. But
exactly.
I'm not doing it
Video.
twice, you know.
I'll show you the video when we get off air. But there is a blueprint now for him to represent himself and save money. Like the kind of money that these guys are making now,
money.
You're saving
15-20% or more.
100%.
Because they're making the same money no matter what, right? It's slotted.
Yeah.
It is.
So
it is slotted, but you're talking about an extra $4.5 million in his pocket. Yeah.
So maybe that is smart.
I'm glad that you brought up Lamar Jackson because I'm a huge fan of his, and I was really worried about him this last offseason when he did that. And like you said, Maz, it took a while.
And he was injured.
Yeah, and now it ended up paying off. So are we seeing the start of a trend? Especially with Caleb now, high profile, most likely. I mean, I still think Drake May goes number one. I think he's the best in the class. Although, I do love Jaden Daniels. I think that at this point, with all of the spotlight on him that he has and the profile that he has, everyone's going to be talking about this. And the same thing just happened this last summer with the highest profile free agent quarterback. So, are we going to see more young guys starting to do this?
I think so. Because you look at it from this standpoint, you can hire an attorney to do the contractual language. Like you can hire an attorney just as a consultant to read the language, make sure it's status quo, and then pay him for that, as opposed to hiring an agent, where now, when I came out, it was 3%. That was the standard rate, what they're taking. These guys are now, because the money's up, these guys are taking like 6.5% now. So I think you will see guys do this, because what does an agent really need to do? Like back when I was coming out, and go back to John Elway or go back to a long time ago, you had an agent to get you into the rooms. The agent knew those type of things. The agent could get you marketing deals. The agent could get you in rooms that you yourself and your parents may not know about.
That makes
but
sense.
Now, guys have branded themselves starting in college. Like guys are their own agents in college. You got NIL deals, you got sponsorship deals. Guys know how to kind of work that room. I think, Maz, all you really need to do, let me hire an attorney so that he can read, because those contracts are long. Like my first contract, Anson, 62 pages.
Wow.
Like it's 62 pages of language. Like I don't want to read that. I don't know. I don't understand the fine print in these things. That's why you hire an attorney. But outside of that, you really don't necessarily need one. Laremy Tunsil and Lamar Jackson have shown you the other way.
It's just another blotch on him. Like,
True.
How many stories can it be about one guy? How many stories can be about one player without another team? First, he didn't want to say, I'm not going to come out if the Bears are being number one. I don't want to go to Chicago. And then he kind of backs off that later. And then he comes back in and he's like, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I might go back for my senior year yet. Blah, blah, blah. Then his father comes out and says, we don't want Chicago to draft him.
Yeah.
You get the parents involved. You do all of that. And now he goes in and he throws in, I'm not going to have an agent now. I'm sure you had a slew of agents lined up to take him, and he told him to go pound salt, I guess.
Hey, Anson, side note, my mom hit me on text, and she said it was 6% when I came out. So now it's probably upwards of 9 to 10%.
Really?
So appreciate that, Mom. Thank you for keeping me
Did you want to go to Miami?
Yes.
Okay,
Miami,
I figured much.
100%.
Miami tricked them.
They did. They actually did. So Miami were number 2.
Yep.
Cleveland was 3. Chicago was 4. Number
And
1.
Alex Smith was going number 1.
100%.
Yeah.
They had to have a quarterback
Well,
out
Aaron
there.
Rodgers said he was going to go number 1.
Mike Nolan sat in that very chair, and like we had this, like, having fun, because he was the head coach for the 49ers at the time. I said, Coach, why didn't you draft me? Aaron Rodgers did tell me he was
Did you
going
tell
number
Anson that story?
So, like every year they do a theme, if you will, for the draft, for the commercials. So when I came out, the top 5, 6 guys, the theme was the stock exchange. So we fly in March to go shoot the commercials that they were running that week. And we're at the hotel, we're at the front desk, myself and Alex Smith. We were cool. We met at the Playboy All-American the season before. we were hanging out, we're chilling, we're walking to our room. Aaron Rodgers walks right by us, introduces himself. He said, "Hey, how you doing, Aaron Rodgers? Number 1 pick in the draft." So like everybody like knows that
he should have said best quarterback in the draft.
100%. So everybody knows obviously he went 24 and they had to,
guy in the room.
had to leave the green room.
Yeah,
blah blah.
I remember that.
It's even funnier to myself and Alex because so he goes 1, then I go 3, and like we're hanging out. And like after the draft, where you go, I was like, number 1, my ass. Excuse me.
So after you got picked, does Cleveland take you right away and take you to the plane and in the snow and the blizzard and take you to Cleveland? Or
You could tell from his face they did,
or
man.
can you hang out for the night in New York and have a good time?
You are rehashing old wounds. So look,
You could see it.
Because I knew you flew into a blizzard.
So April 23rd was when the draft was. When I came out, it was Saturday. This is back Saturday, Sunday draft. This is that old school format. So it was a blizzard.
Hold on. Old school was Tuesday, Wednesday.
Oh, I'm not that old.
That was really old
I'm
school.
not that old.
Okay.
My old school is Saturday and Sunday. There we go. It was round 1 through 3 on Saturday, and the rest was on Sunday. But so it's a blizzard everywhere west of New York. So Alex Smith, number 1, San Fran, flew him out the next day. Cedric Benson, 4th overall. Rest in peace. 100%. Rest in peace, Cedric Benson. Chicago flew him out the next day. Antrell Rowe went number 8 to the Arizona Cardinals. They flew him out the next day. Aaron Rodgers, Green Bay Packers, they flew him out the next day. And then Ronnie Brown, Miami Dolphins,
number 2.
They flew him out Sunday. Don't you know the only guy that got flown out into a
that
blizzard?
night?
That night was Braylon Edwards, Cleveland Browns.
Welcome to Cleveland,
Landed
baby.
in a blizzard. It set the tone for what Cleveland's experience was going to be like.
yeah.
There were some good times.
What kind of plane were you in?
No, it was Gulfstream. It was G5.
Now, who was able to
It
go
was
with you
G5.
on the jet? Did
Me,
mom and dad go?
Yeah, me, mom, dad, sis, and Hayes, who was my best friend and manager, ended up becoming my manager.
Where
and
was
best
Max?
Friend. But Max was in college. Yeah, Max was in school at the time. But Anson, do you know what I missed? And this is why I'm still pissed about that. So the cover of Sports Illustrated was the
They took the next day.
They took it.
Oh.
They
Son of
took
a
it the
gun.
next day.
Son
You
of
ever
a
get
gun.
on the cover?
They took it that day.
You
but
didn't get on the cover making that catch?
No, I didn't.
You
I
should have
didn't.
been,
So
my
you got
friend.
like all these guys on the cover. Meanwhile, I'm in like Cleveland in the blizzard,
dude.
like, and I didn't know that they took it until I was actually flying back to Cleveland. I'm in the airport, which why I flew from Detroit to Cleveland, the shortest flight ever. So I'm in the airport. I'm looking at the Hudson News. I'm looking at Sports Illustrated. I'm like,
Oh, dude.
that's crazy. Somebody's missing from this picture. So I mean, Cleveland, thank you. We appreciate that.
So I got to ask you probably an easy question, but a
Okay.
hard one to say out loud.
Go for it.
Are you a Brown or a Jet?
Oh, I'm a Jet.
Oh, no,
I
that's
thought so.
easy.
No,
That's what I thought.
I'm a
That's
Jet.
what I
Like,
thought.
it's-
Did you know what team wished him a happy birthday on his birthday?
Oh, you saw that.
Of course I did. I commented on it.
New York Jets.
The
man.
New
Jets,
York
huh?
Jets. And
Very
he
cool.
said, this is why my heart is always going to be
in New Jersey,
in
Florham
Jersey,
Park.
at Florham Park, Jersey.
Great stories, man.
100%. Like some organizations get it. Now they don't get a lot of other things, but the New York Jets, they get it as it relates to players, as it relates to alumni relations. Man, they're excellent with those things. Cleveland, not so much. But I believe the franchise could be turning around. You look at what they did with.
I stuck up for him yesterday.
The coaches.
you did.
Yeah,
What was
him and Stick were killing me.
Well, I
Killing me.
Well,
Kevin
I'm
Stefanski,
kinda
Coach
halfway.
Of the year.
And that's-
Myles Garrett, defensive player
no,
of the
but
year.
what did they do with the coaches? They let us Callahan.
Yes, they let Callahan go to coach with his son in Tennessee.
So things like that, you start to say, you know, maybe his franchise is turning. Look, I want the best for the Browns. I don't harbor any ill will.
Yeah.
They gave me a chance. They drafted me 3rd overall. We had some records. We had some fun. But just, I identify as a Jet. As they say in 2024, I identify.
You are identifying
go.
as a Jet.
As
Not
a
a male, not a female, but a Jet.
100%.
There you
Flight
go.
boys in the building tonight.
That's it, baby. That's
right.
I'm still pissed at
100%.
you for never taking the Cleveland Brown helmet with you.
For what?
For a souvenir. That was your first helmet.
I go
bugs
buy
me.
one.
That bugs me.
Well, I can go to John Yu. Shout out to John Yu.
I
Pro
know,
Sports
but
Zone.
it's not your helmet.
Look, man, when they traded me,
He left everything in Cleveland. Tell him that. When he got traded
when
to the
did this
Jets,
become about me?
when he got traded to the Jets, He left he didn't even go to the Berea. He didn't go and pick up his stuff.
I went to Berea because that's when I found out I got traded. So found out I got traded, went and talked to Eric Mangini, and then I was like, cool, I'm traded to the Jets. I'm out. I left my laptop. I left all my radio. I left everything I had in that locker. Like
the training staff thanked you.
This is 100% because they definitely got to reap those benefits.
That's good, man. That's so good.
You know, I'm just reading through your bio here, and I'm seeing that you donated $500,000 for a scholarship endowment for football players. That's pretty fantastic, my friend.
Appreciate that, man. 100%.
Absolutely.
That was University of Michigan. Actually,
that's why they love him so much.
That's why certain people up there in Ann Arbor.
Well, you're welcome again.
100%. I'm not worried about that, man. But yeah, that was scholarship endowment we did at the University of Michigan. 100 of that went to education, so very proud of that. And then we also did some stuff with Cleveland. We donated $1 million to education.
It's fantastic.
And we were able to get. We did 100 kids, and out of 100 kids, 79 of those kids stayed in the program and got the scholarship money, and they went on to colleges. It was funny because like kids were asking me, obviously this is Ohio, so what schools in Ohio? So like, is the scholarship good if we go to you know where? I said it pains me, but yes. You can take my money and go
if we
to
go,
Columbus.
You know where.
You can take my money.
They
and
owe
go.
you, man. Columbus owes you.
Impacting lives, though, man. That's fantastic.
At the end of the day, man, to whom much is given, much is expected. And my parents have always raised me in that way. Shout out to my parents, all four of them. I appreciate you, Mom. Thanks for keeping me on track. Love you.
Yeah, Mom.
100%. That's your girl.
It is.
That is your girl.
Hey, speaking
Get
of
into some Lions or something, man. This is like the Browns over here.
I know. I was going to ask you one more question about the Browns.
Please.
To get me off the hook from sticking an answer from yesterday. I said that they have an opportunity after this year and everything they went through. How many quarterbacks? 6 quarterbacks this year? And they wind up with Joe Flacco, who gets comeback player of the year. They have Deshaun Watson now. Do you think Deshaun Watson will ever recoup all his wares, the way he played the game? Do you think he could get the Browns over the hump and let them win a couple playoff games? I said yes. So they said no.
I'm going to have to agree with the Michigan State guy on this one, man. And this is why. Anson, I agree with you. What Deshaun Watson went through, it's not just kind of like, all right, here's what Mike Vick. Let's give you an example. Mike Vick, obviously, dogfighting situation. He goes to jail for, I think, a little over a year and a half. He comes out, still plays at a high level, makes a Pro Bowl. That 2010 team that, what's his name? Not Brian Kelly. That Chip Kelly dismantled. Dumbest thing I've ever seen. Like, he got rid of Jeremy Maclin. He got rid of Deshaun Jackson. He got rid of Shady McCoy. He got rid of Mike Vick.
Hopefully he'll do the same at Ohio
That was
State.
a fun offense, too.
It was fun to watch.
Real
100%.
fun.
With that being said, like, he went to jail, got over it. He had a lot of people in his corner. He was able to get his mental right, and he was able to come back to football with a clean conscience and a clean mental. Not the same for Deshaun Watson. You look at a lot of those cases. I mean, there's still cases. It's still pending. Like Deshaun Watson, when he goes out in public, people know who he is.
He's in limbo right now.
100%. His mental can, in my opinion, his mental can never recover. I don't know exactly what happened. I don't know exactly what he did.
He's going to get booed everywhere.
And so now you're taking about a year and a half off. Now your mental isn't correct. You never can get your mental corrected. Now you have to be perfect in your mind. So now you're trying to find your 2019 Deshaun Watson self with the Houston Texans. That's tough. I don't think he will ever be the quarterback that we saw on this trajectory. Like that year that he had.
That's too bad.
He had backup wide receivers and threw for 4,900 yards. And 6 interceptions and, 30-something touchdowns. So I agree with Anson. I just think his mental is fractured in a way. I don't think he'll be. I hope he does. 100%. Like, look, at the end of the day, on the field, he's an amazing player. He was great. You saw what he did, Clemson and Alabama. Like those games were legendary. But off the field, I think his mental is too fractured.
All right,
too fractured to recover. Is that about saying it?
I gotta agree. I'd rather talk about Honolulu Blue at this point, though. Let's go.
So let's do this. Let's take a break. Let's get a word from Pete. I'll let you say it. Who we get the word from, Pete?
Big boy.
Maz, that's you, buddy.
The man next to you.
That's it. I am the big boy. Here he is. Make sure you get down to your local big boy right away because you got to start your day with a great breakfast. Got on down there and start off with the stuffed potato pancakes and those omelets. The Santa Fe omelet, the lumberjack omelet, and of course those apple pie hotcakes. too good to pass up. A little lunch or dinner for you. The veal parmesan, the Southern Comfort chicken bowl, and of course you can just order yourself a big boy as well. But do not leave without having some pie from there, and of course the best shakes in town. All right, your local big boy.
Come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people. This is exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC. The same great service that customers have come to know and trust on Woodward Avenue just south of 9 Mile. Check out Les Stanford in Dearborn today at lesstanford.com. Les Stanford Chevrolet, lesstanford.com.
Together, let's drive.
That's right. Back to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz.
Maz, Anson, and Braylon in today having a good time. Pete, Spivak, and JB on the ones and twos. You had some interesting things that you're finding out over there, man. You're doing a deep dive.
We got the bio on you.
Not all true, by the way.
Braylon Edwards was stopped at least 7 times from 2002 to 2010 for speeding violations.
That's cap.
The most recent of which was in October 2008 when he was pulled over for driving 120 miles per hour in a 65-mile-per-hour zone.
What kind of car was that?
The Bentley Coupe. So
the Bent, huh?
So first of all, 2002, I never got a speeding ticket until after I got drafted. So that's a lie. 2002, I got drafted in 2005. So cap. The 120 is true. And this is what happened with the 120. So I'm in the car, I'm driving. When you're driving a car that goes 220, 120 is not speeding.
No.
120, like
it's smooth.
Yeah,
you don't even know
for sure.
You're
You're
like
going
right
about
now,
45.
Your car says 140 on the dash. You go 80. Like you're over half. So anyway,
I'm all for it. By the way, speed.
So I'm going 120. I'm driving a friend home. Let's say she was intoxicated. So I'm driving her home. Get pulled over by the cops. I'm going 120. Boom, trying to get her home. She's about to do what people do when they're drunk.
Is this a Cleveland state trooper?
No, it's not a state trooper, but it's town.
All right.
It's town. So I come over the exit, he pulls me over, and he's like, yo, you 120. Braylon Edwards. Oh. So I had signed something for, I think, his nephew who had cancer or something along those lines, and he was grateful to me. So he said, look, man, like, just take her home and stop driving fast. That's all right, cool. Don't you know he took the speedometer, he took a picture of it, and he sent it in a group chat. And he sent it in a group chat to his friends and other cops and other people.
Oh, no.
In this group chat, ends up being someone that works
whistleblower
that works for Channel 19. Yes, Channel 19, which is Cleveland's version of the propaganda. Yeah. So they say, so you mean to tell me Braylon Edwards is allowed to not get a ticket for going 120? So they made a big deal out of it. So I get a knock at my door literally 3 weeks later.
With the ticket?
No, I had to go, because you had to go down to the police station to get the ticket at this time. So they knock at the door and they say, hey, we got to take you down and we got to give you the ticket and blah, blah, blah. Because allegedly there's 90 days, which if something is a misdemeanor or felony charges, whatever, they can come back. They got up to 90 days, and so they came, and I went to the police station, and boom, boom, boom. So yeah, it's because he sent it in a group chat.
They must have known you were a Michigan driver, because they hate Michigan drivers down in Ohio.
License plate, Michigan. Like I did nothing Ohio. Like they hated me, and I welcomed it. Like my license plate was like maize and blue. Like what? Boy. Like they used to, when Michigan would play like around that time, so like Thanksgiving. Man, TP my house, kicked my door in, like broke my windows out of my car.
I gotta be honest.
You do realize I play for the Cleveland Browns now.
I'm becoming a little more of a Wolverines fan just through this broadcast. It's
I used to wear like Michigan. It's illegal to, well, back then it was in the NFL. You had to wear licensed equipment by the NFL. So back in the day it was Reebok. Had to wear Brown stuff in pregame warm up. No. I wore Michigan stuff. I had a Michigan mouthpiece. I used to take the fine, big to Cleveland. That was me, man. It was Ohio, so it is what it is.
What kind of neighborhood were you driving 120 down?
I wasn't neighborhood. I was on the freeway. I was on 90.
Oh, that's nothing.
Yeah, I was on 90.
That's like being on 696.
True.
Right?
100%. That's flying.
You didn't ever
it's a straight shot, though. Like 696 is kind of windy.
Yeah.
You bet not.
MIS, baby.
Yeah, you bet not.
I always wanted to drive on the Autobahn.
Oh, yeah. Germany.
I have a lead foot.
I have.
You have driven on the Autobahn?
I have driven on the Autobahn. I went there. My dad got me my high school graduation gift was 1 year later. We went to Berlin and Munich, and I got to drive a BMW. I forgot what kind of BMW it was. I got up to 115 miles per hour on the Autobahn until my dad was just grabbing my arm saying, "Stop, slow down." But yeah, I drove the Autobahn in Munich.
I don't know, man. It's just something about driving, and my wife is always hitting me. If I go over 80 and she's in the car, it's like I'm dead to her at that point. She's going to start a fight with me. I got a lead foot, and
now what's considered a lead foot? You said 80? About 80?
No,
you can get up with the best of them.
I can get with the best of them.
Okay.
I can get with the best of them. And I have to watch. Sometimes I watch and I'm like, oh my God, I better slow it down. It's not a good thing to do. It's not a good thing to do. If you're speeding and you get in an accident, first of all, you're dead automatically. The faster you go.
True.
The faster you go. And then who knows, if there's one bad driver out there and they move in too close to you hit them, it's a chain reaction. I don't want to do that to anyone. But I do have a lead foot. And when I went to South Dakota a couple of years ago to see Mount Rushmore.
Oh, that's right. I remember you went.
Their speed limit's 85.
Nice.
85 miles an hour. When I saw that sign, I was like, whoa, yeah!
Let's do this.
So, okay, Anson, if it's 85 miles an hour, so 100 is acceptable?
See, so in parts of Michigan, there's a 75 mile per hour speed limit. And
I was going to Mount Pleasant. I saw 75.
Yeah. So I've heard that if you go much over that, then they're clipping you because they're allowing you that extra 5. So I drive at the 10% rule.
Okay.
If I'm in a 45, I'm going about 49 to 50. If I'm in a 70, I'm going 77. I spent too much time and too much damn money in the courts as a young man. I have not had a moving violation in, I believe, 17 years.
Knock wood.
Yeah,
I ain't getting one. Although I did get pulled over about 10 years ago on my birthday, and he let me off.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, man. Good
Thank
day.
you. It's coming up.
You know what's funny is I think as you get older, you naturally kind of slow down.
Yeah.
But this time around, I made sure that I got a truck. I got a pickup truck. I got Denali. So like, look,
that thing rolls.
But it's a diesel. So like, to speed in that,
you know you're going 80.
Exactly, which keeps me in check.
Keeps you
I
grounded.
believe.
They're a little loud, aren't they?
They are, and when you start hearing, you're like, I'm doing too much.
Now JB, I picture JB as a 60 mile an hour guy.
In a
60 mile an hour.
You're
60 and a
You're
70.
a 60 and a 70, aren't you, JB?
Oh no, I'm speeding.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm speeding.
All right, that's good. Attaboy. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that to you.
Pete, can you drive?
Yeah, I can drive. I have a nice Lincoln MKZ, baby.
You just look like somebody. I just like all over the road, man.
No, I ride in style, baby.
Listen,
I'm doing at least 80 miles an hour in the
that's
left
what I'm
lane,
saying.
dude.
here's the worst part about
Like
me.
he's changing lanes, no turn signal. He's looking down his phone. He's trying to do the game prep.
I got my buddy, one of my best buddies.
I'm just joking, Pete.
We
I love
call
you,
him the
dude.
B-Man.
Okay.
Yeah.
The B-Man drives like he's 90. I'm driving with him to Ann Arbor
That's tough.
a few weekends ago to go to Chrysler Arena. He's treating me to a game. And I'm like, I pull up to his house and I'm like, he's already in his car. I'm like, no, get in my car. He's like, no, I'm driving. I'm like, okay, I pull over, park, I get in the car. I wanted to grab the freaking wheel. I wanted to step on his foot.
He was going that
so
slow.
many times. We're in the right lane. I'm like, bro, there's people coming on the road here. You know, you should maybe be over another lane. You know, people are trying to merge onto the highway, and the people in the right lane. If you're in the right lane, the people can't merge. Especially, he's a nervous driver and all, and It drives me crazy. Yet, if I go with my wife's friend, Margaret, she is shaking in her boots when she gets in the car with me. Shaking in her boots.
That's tough. That's tough.
But I can't drive with someone that's driving really slow. I always want to drive.
Drives me nuts.
Yeah, I'm to the point where there's only so much Instagramming and like bit which I can play on my phone before I look up. I'm like, all right, look, like, what are you doing? Like,
You don't have to drive fast, but drive efficient.
Yes.
Don't stand in the lane or sit in the lane with 12 cars in front of us when the other 3 are open. Drives me crazy.
And how about the guy that's going 60 in the left lane at 696?
move over.
I try, and then I'm looking
Like,
at him,
move over.
and he's on his phone, or he's just chilling out, and then he sees 17 cars passing him. Do you think he'd get over then?
No.
No, he's still there.
Right.
And now he's doing it on purpose. Like now,
No, they
Right.
don't know.
Oh, yeah.
They
Brain's
don't
right.
know.
So here, let me ask you guys this question because I got, I'm gonna say in trouble, but someone told me I was doing too much. Are you the type when you're on the road and people are at a red light that turns green and they don't go? Like, do you blow your horn or do you believe it's rude to blow your horn?
I try not to
I'll
be-
give him a quick punch horn.
Yeah, the quick punch
tap.
That one,
horn,
and
yeah.
if they don't move, then they're getting it.
How long are you waiting?
Okay,
the light turns.
Five. I say
3 to 5.
3 to 5 seconds.
Oh, yeah. No, 3 seconds is way too much.
See, I agree.
Yeah,
like
3
3 seconds is
is
like
way
what you
too
said.
much.
It's like, all right, look, man, like
I wouldn't hammer the horn.
no, like a quick like boop.
Yeah, and I'm from the horn capital of the world, New York City.
Jersey and New York. 100%.
It's the horn capital of the
Man,
world.
it is.
I don't even use my side view mirrors in New York. I just drive lane to lane because everyone they'll get out of your way eventually.
When I graduated 8th grade, we went on a Hall of Fame tour. We went to Canton, and we went to Cooperstown.
Oh, that's a great thing.
Springfield, and then came back to Toronto. It was
That's
awesome.
sweet.
It was very cool. But now we're driving this whole way, and we get to New York. We got hit 3 times in New York. Like just tiny little things where nobody even got out of the car. That's your city, baby.
I love it. That's just meant to be, man. That's the way it is. Taxi cabs are all over the place. Now it's all
It's a
Uber.
wild city to drive.
It is.
in.
It's wild.
I still have a parking ticket from there from about.
You better not go back.
13 Oh, I don't even own that car anymore.
You on that driver's license?
I was not paying that ticket. That's for damn
I took
sure.
my friend Lloyd Jackson to New York City. He was on WWJ at the time, Action Jackson. And
Action Jackson.
we were going to New York to go watch Holyfield, and I think he fought Riddick Bowe. And we were going to go.
That trilogy is legitimately one of the most slept
I love it.
on.
Oh, yeah.
I freaking
it
loved
arguably
it.
might be the best heavyweight trilogy
love-
ever.
Absolutely slept on. You're right.
100%. I love that
I'm a
trilogy.
real deal guy. I love the Vander Holyfield. His heart,
If
unbelievable.
Riddick
heart.
Bowe didn't because remember he vacated the title, threw it in the trash. Lennox picked it up and he goes to the military. I do
I
believe.
love Lennox Lewis too.
Another underrated champ.
Love him.
The only reason people don't like him is because he talks like, I'm a
I
pugilistic
love that.
champion.
I love that.
I hit him with a
He
jab.
was arrogant, but
I love
what,
him. He was
what,
good,
what
though.
heavyweight champ wasn't?
Yeah.
You know,
Look at the.
You look at his resume, like
Look at the
he's
Gypsy
earned that
King
right.
now.
he beat some people.
How about the Gypsy King? He's arrogant.
He's
Very.
He's earned
Come
the
on.
right though.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who's going to stand up to him? I just watched his fight against.
Usyk.
Yeah. No, I saw his fight against Wilder when he knocked.
Deontay Wilder got
I think he
smoked.
busted Wilder's eardrum. He was bleeding out of his ear.
Remember the first time they fought? Like
That was
Wilder
it.
dropped him twice.
I know,
That
but
was the
then he dropped
that was the
him.
second time they fought.
Oh, that was the second.
Yeah,
time.
second time is when he came to the ring with all the equipment, and then he complained after, said like my stuff weighed me down. I was like, shut up, like you did the most. Like just lose gracefully.
There's not a whole lot of humble heavyweight champs out there.
So I take my buddy
Boxing
Lloyd.
is one of those sports like I wouldn't be humble either. Like boxing,
No. Who's gonna step to
you're
you?
a killer be killed.
Exactly.
Listen, man, that was my favorite sport. And
Boxing
every
was
day-
the best.
Ask Pete. He walks in on in the back room. I'm putting the show together, and I always have a fight on. I follow all these fights, these fight channels on Twitter. All these different guys, and it's just I watch different fights every single day. But I take Lloyd Jackson.
What's
to New
your
York.
favorite fight?
Well, all the Ali fights. are my favorite, but I love the Sugar Ray and Hagler fight. Sugar Ray Hearns is amazing. Amazing fight.
Every time I watch that Sugar Ray and Tommy Hitman Hearns, the very first one,
amazing.
It's one of those things where like once I get to round 15, I still cannot believe Tommy loses.
I'm still pulling for him to win.
Exactly.
It's like I watch it,
Like
I'm thinking
something's
it
gonna
might.
change.
I know.
I was a Leonard fan, but I've grown to love Hearns because I'm here in Detroit.
Yeah.
But I was a Sugar Ray Leonard fan since the 1976 Olympics. I loved that whole team, that whole boxing team.
Yeah, like
it was amazing.
When Tommy was doing this thing in the 80s, my dad was in the NFL, so like they were friends, knew each other, so I know him my whole life.
Yeah.
But I was always a Sugar guy. I never told him.
Oh, wow.
Sugar Ray Leonard's my favorite
He's
boxer
one of
of
the
all
greatest
time.
boxers of all time.
Remember when
Hands down.
I took the picture with him at the Mark Wahlberg outing and I sent it to you? Evander
down.
Holyfield, too.
I love those guys.
Evander Holyfield,
So
too.
I'm driving Lloyd in New York, and just to make a long story short, long story short, the way I was driving in New York, he was literally almost throwing up. He had never saw New York traffic, and I put him through the ringer. It just made me laugh. It still makes me laugh.
Welcome to New York.
100%.
I turned him white.
And with that, we're going to get a message from Fairway Packing, and we'll come back at the top of the hour and finally maybe get to some Honolulu Blue and Silver.
And DMac will be in the house. Here he comes.
Oh, look at that. There he is right there,
Uh-oh,
ladies and gentlemen.
good timing.
We got Darren McCarty coming up. It is his day at LCA, but first, let's get a message from Fairway Packing.
Hey, for over 60 years, Fairway Packing Company has provided Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, and casinos with prime beef, Wagyu beef, and dry-aged beef. Experience the Fairway difference for yourself today. Visit their steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods for grab-and-go steaks, or as always, you can check them out online at fairwaypacking.com.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Savor the heart of home at Big Boy with our all-new down-home comfort dishes. Feast on home-style goodness with our Southern Comfort Chicken Bowl, veal parmigiana, and apple pie hotcakes. The down-home delight doesn't stop there. Potato pancakes are back. Dive into the richness of our perfectly crafted potatoes with our classic potato pancakes and our stuffed potato pancakes. Top off your meal with our new gingerbread shake, a seamless blend of creamy vanilla and sweet gingerbread flavors. Nothing beats the comforting taste of down-home cooking. Enjoy every bite, only at Big Boy.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
Good news and bad news. The bad news is insurance rates are going up across the board in Michigan. The good news is that Swiss Insurance is here to help. Right now, more than ever, is critical for you to have your insurance reviewed. Swiss will make sure your carrier does not slip in extra fees or raise deductibles. Call Mark at Swiss Insurance today or visit SwissINS.com and tell them that Woodward Sports sent you. Over to you there, JB.
Oh, thanks. And you know what? You can't forget about Lady Jane's. So come to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience. Register to win a trip of your dreams, all expenses paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament. That's right, no expenses spared for you and 5 of your best buds. Lady Jane's Haircut for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Wicked.
It is wicked awesome. And us, you know who else is wicked awesome? It's my man to the left, my brother from another mother, Darren McCarty. DMac, what's up, man?
What's going on, B? Good to see you, my
Always
man.
good to see you, big
Maz, happy Mike Ruzioni and
Thanks,
the
brother.
U.S. Team 1980
bet,
Championship
baby.
Day. We know you live in the past, so
I
we
do.
got to bring that up. Anson,
course.
good to see
My
you.
man.
JB, Mr. Spivak, great to be here.
Hey,
boys.
happy,
Appreciate it, brother.
happy DMac night.
DMac night.
Happy
Yeah,
DMac
that's pretty
night.
cool.
night.
Tell us a
I
little
guess
bit
they
about
call
what's
them
going
Heritage
on.
Nights. And
Heritage Night.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's cool. Obviously, did my hair for everybody. I haven't
at
put
the
it up in
mohawk
Mohawk
looking
for,
good,
for
man.
the
Great.
crowd downtown yet, so thought that was apropos. But yeah, anytime you're honored or whatever, it's one of those things that, and B, you can relate to this.
No, I've never had a
No,
night.
you can relate to the fact of people giving you your flowers.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Right, and as you get older, to be able to accept it. So I take pride, obviously, in the culture and getting this team ready, get the fans ready for what's coming, but it's also great to look back. And you know what?
Red Wings Avalanche, second to none.
Yeah, and
second to none.
It's a double caveat. Great that I'll be down there. I'll be signing my graphic novel. I'll be actually, if you go down there tonight and get there between 5:30 and 5:45, I'll be giving away this stick giveaway at the Comerica entrance. So maybe you come by and say hi. But it's a big hockey game for this hockey team and this playoff run too. So to be a part of it and to be down there, it's going to be a great night. So I can't say thanks to everybody enough. I appreciate it.
Mac, you kind of talked about it, but I feel like you glanced over it. So let me ask the question again. You're talking about one of the most storied franchises in my eyes. They're the most storied because I grew up here. One of the most storied franchises in any of the 4 major sports. And what you accomplished, what you guys accomplished in that run that you guys had in the 90s and 2000s, to be a part of that, to get 4 Stanley Cups, but then to have this franchise also give you your own night. You had the bobblehead night, I think 2 years ago. You had the bobblehead night. Now this year and tonight is DMac night or Heritage night when they're playing against a team in which, we know what that rivalry meant in 96, 97, 98, 99. So how special is it to you looking back on what you accomplished then to have that night now with this franchise?
Well, I think it is like any of us as we get older. And by the way, happy belated birthday.
Appreciate
so you know
it.
this after, now that you're 41 years old and stuff. As you get
older, I'm real
40
now. I'm over 40.
Yeah, exactly. You appreciate it's the appreciation to what has been built and what it's come. I listened to you during football season give me, directions of what it's like to play college football and, what Michigan was trying to accomplish then with the Jets or with the NFL and stuff like this. So you know what a part to be there. You don't know when you're there. Yeah, you try to appreciate it as much as possible, but you're young and either you think that it's always going to continue, or you don't realize what you got till it's gone. We knew, like everybody else, it was something special, but I think that it's now that I'm in my 50s and stuff that I really appreciate it more.
I have to say something about this guy. First and foremost, this guy gave me this thing here on my nose, put me into the glass wall here.
Did you break your nose?
You're not the only one.
Wait, hold on a sec. Let's go back here. Did you break your nose? No. So I did not hit you, Anson. It's not broken.
It's possible we might have the video of the actual play.
Oh, wait, is there footage?
Do we have footage?
Listen. Hold on. I knew Anson would have this, so thank God Stick's around here. So he pulled up the video. If you haven't seen it. Here it comes again.
I was very focused, all right? I was very focused, guys.
The glass vibrator.
Play it out, because the best part is he goes into the room and you can see Pete in the back there in the ball. Watch Pete lose his marbles. Just lost all his marbles.
I was sitting in here, and I heard a noise that I never heard before. A vibration. The whole room here vibrated from him hitting that glass.
Now listen, the worst part about it is I don't know if you've ever watched Curb Your Enthusiasm, but the day beforehand, I'm watching the episode where Larry's girlfriend stops dating him because he walked into a sliding glass wall.
That was beautiful.
That's a good thing.
Anyway,
you don't know any girls, Anson.
You got to laugh at ourselves. But listen, I got to say this about DMac, and I've been a fan of Detroit sports since I came out of the womb. DMac is the coolest athlete
hands
in
down.
Detroit history. That's a fact. What you've meant to us in what we're celebrating tonight against the Avalanche, the iron fists that you brought out there, the goals that you put up on WA, the rock and roll career, everything that you've done and stuck around to do here in Detroit. You are one of Detroit's favorite sons, and in my eyes, you are the coolest athlete in Detroit sports history.
I agree.
Finally, you got something right, Anson. And that means, you know what? That's what it is. The people, you talk about the Rock, the People's Champ, or whatever like this, or whatever. When I say I'm walking around hockey, I told the boys tonight, you got the mayor of Hockeytown in the building, so you got to act like it. But it's the city, it's the state, it's the people. Without them, I always travel this state doing my comedy tour telling everybody I'm a batter. You people are my power. And the reason that I've been able to, and Maz is you've all watched me fall down but get back up and fall down. I just figured out I got old enough that I know what I don't want more than what I do. But for you to say that's the thing that means the most to me.
Brother, you embody the spirit of being a Detroiter and what the city's all about.
And thank you, Anson, because that's what I'm trying to relay. And you know what?
You did it.
I always say, please don't compare me to the rest of them, because I don't think there is another one like me. So,
no, there ain't.
But that's just that's 30 years of building. And they say build your brand. No, that's just who I am, and the people of Detroit have allowed me,
authentic,
right, wrong,
brother,
good, bad, or indifferent, and to pick me up every time, to the fact that I don't need the training wheels anymore, and you don't have to worry about me as much, and the fact that I know who I am.
Truly
right?
authentic,
brother.
So. Now, I have a question, though, because... What's that?
Oh, go ahead. I'm going to piggyback that out.
Okay, so feel free, but I wanted to hop onto another story, so please piggyback that first.
Yeah, I want to agree with Anson, man. You bring up a great point, man. That's well said. Like, DMac is 100% authentic, what you just said, but he's also always been himself. He's always also been human. He's literally fallen in front of us. He's risen in front of us. He's always taking the time. I was just with him in Mount Pleasant 2 weeks ago. We were up there doing an autograph show. We've done golf outings together. We've done signings together. Everybody feels a part of DMac's world. That's right. Like, he takes the time to talk to everybody. He signs every autograph, no matter what age, conversation. He gives you himself whenever, man. Like, no one does it better. And for me to be a fellow athlete, a little younger, like, it's the model. Like, it's the model on how to do things, how to be out with the people, and how to talk to people, and how to move, man. So I want to piggyback on that. Like, you're the best at it. I tell you that all the time.
You know what,
that.
And that's because, and it's for all of the other one, no matter what you do, to care. The only difference to me is that people, the compassion for fellow human beings is my number one. Whether it's protecting them, whether it's a voice of reason, whether it's using my story and my screw ups, right? To that, if somebody can say, well, DMac did it, and I don't have to go there, then my job is done.
Yep. Well, and that's the great segue for the story I wanted to bring up. Protecting. And I think the time that you were fully embraced and loved by every Detroiter was when you put Claude Lemieux on his ass. A couple times. Now, you and I were just talking just recently. I would like you to share the conversation before that you two had before you guys went.
That's before this. The only time it was talk was before the second fight.
Yep.
Right. So that was the first fight, the March 26, 97, Red Wing D-Day, right, where the fact that Igor starts it with Forsberg, Shanny breaks me loose. I hit Lemieux with not a cold cock, which is the cold cock of any of them. Then smashed his face against the board, kneed him in the head, got to 4 minutes for roughing, scored the overtime winner. So I slayed the dragon, got the grill. But my favorite fight was the next year off the face-off where we line up. Now, he's a right winger, I'm a right winger, and he comes over and lines up against me. And I swear to God, I didn't think this guy had the balls to do anything. So I absolutely MF'd him with every canceled, like, if you think how bad you could ever say anything and you weren't worried about any governor or whatever, I let loose on him, his family, his kids, his dog hates him, like different stuff, like all this stuff. I'm like just diatribe, and y'all know here is that I can talk forever, so I talk and talk. He's just nodding. Drapes, of course, wins the draw, so I look this way, and he cracks me, and I remember that moment. I'm like, good. He's got to fight this time. And I got to stand back, and you got to remember, he's bigger than me, right? Like, and he's strong as an ox, but in this moment, dude, like, that was all I ever wanted, is just to be able to tee off on this guy. And yes, if you can go watch that Unrivaled we did a couple years ago and see both sides of the story, but at that moment, whatever respect I didn't have, there was some that had to have changed that, and it definitely did for me. So.
And Gary Thorne was ready to go. He's like, all right, it looks like they're going right now. Him and Bill Clement on that call.
Right off the
they
rip.
said they're doing it. Here we go, boys. And
I got him good too, Anson.
I got a video right here of them just sitting there chatting at each other, man.
I was holding court.
That's fantastic, man.
It's crazy now that you guys had that moment. I was there when you guys sit down at at the Fifth 2 years ago. You guys actually sat down, talked. That was a great moment in sports. It was a great full circle moment.
Because you never get to hear both sides of the story, or you get to hear and in the biggest where it was so personal. Because it's in life and in sports, bad things happen, but you can't lose respect for a fellow human being. And the fact Claude Lemieux didn't apologize for smashing Chris Draper from behind was the reason the big guy got involved and put me into like karma. So the fact of when you understand 25 years later or whatever, and I realized this in doing some autograph shows, probably 2016, 17, 18 of what Chris Chelios told me. Claude Lemieux is not the same person, right, on the ice.
Yeah.
To this day, I will tell you, if you out there are on the ice with Claude Lemieux today and you turn your back, you are an idiot, right? But off the ice, I will turn my back on him because he has earned that respect as a human. And if I'm the first one to ask for second chances and to have fallen down and make mistakes, but if I'm not the same person I was before, then I have changed, I can honestly say my friend Claude has changed off the ice.
Your
I don't
friend
know about
Claude.
on the ice.
Your friend Claude.
You see that?
My
yeah.
friend Claude.
Wow, very cool.
Absolutely, where I can say that. But again, what goes back to, right? I'm genuine.
Yeah.
I call like I see it. I'll take in all the information from everybody else, and don't forget, it all comes back to me anyways, but I'll make my own conclusion.
You talk
Nothing
about
comes
that.
more authentic than you, my friend. That's for sure.
100%. You talk about that respect. This is year 4 of the Iser plan, and you now see that these guys are fighting for the playoffs this year. It's an exciting time in the Red Wings. Talk about this team right now. What are you excited for, and what does this team look like compared to, let's just say, 2 years ago?
Go look at the lineup. That's
Yeah.
all you got to do. Go look at what's the February, what are we, February 20th or whatever?
February 22nd.
February 22nd, 2022. What's your lineup? Right? Who's your look? You just go back
Alex
to one of those
Lyon,
games
good
and see what
goaltender.
the difference is, right? So you say Steve Yzerman's on his 4th year.
Yep.
I don't look at it that way
Okay.
because I work with Neil Rule, so I got to put in the salary cap. It took him 2 years to get the dead money and get the books sort of right
Got
to
you.
move forward. So really, it's on the 2nd year of the plan. What did they do? They've addressed their scoring, right? How many times in the past 2, 3, 4, 5 years as you get down 2-0 and it'd be like,
It's over.
it's over. We can't score. Now we can score.
Power
Now it's
play
about
as well.
commitment to defense,
Yep.
which what you're seeing. What did you just see Steve Yzerman do? Which was phenomenal because we've always said, yeah, you got your DeBrincats and Larkins and Canes and scorers and stuff like that, but who do you lock down? One of your first guys, Michael Rasmussen,
right.
4 years, because he is, and I've said this yesterday, he is 2024 grind liner. He's got a piece of malt, straights, and I in his game, but it's that value. So the team that Stevie's putting forward, it's going to be interesting because coming up on this trade deadline as opposed to last year, he always said we were never buyers last year.
Right.
Never buyers because we weren't close. This year, this team has put him in a position to force your GM's hand, which is, the best of the best that you've played with. They're going, make it tough for me. Steve Yzerman wants you to make it tough for him, either talent-wise, right, and decisions to be made, lineup-wise, and stuff like that.
Defense.
So enjoy the journey.
Speaking of
and
defense-
we're right in the hunt
Yeah.
of it. And also what I like, B, is that there's different tests throughout the year. And usually it's on the road trips out west and stuff like this, and they've answered the bell to that. Now, what do they have to do? Is they have to answer the bell of these next 5 out of 6 games at home because you set yourself up for success. Now you got to go out and get those points because you got big games against teams that are trailing you, and Islanders and Washington and stuff like that.
They're hungry too.
Also, you talk about defense. I mean, you look what happened this past Sunday. They goalie change, pitched a shutout.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's
100%,
they're finding ways to win, and I don't care how. Just somebody stop the puck.
All right, so tonight, one more time, tell everyone what time they got to get there and where they got to meet
I think
you.
5:30 doors. If you're coming through the Comerica entrance, you might get one of the stick giveaways from DMac. If not, if you're coming down Woodward Sports, we are doing a picture, a gathering outside Portal, 9 or 10. You'll see everybody. First intermission. I think Tammy said meet with a minute left, but first intermission, we'll be down
Portal
there.
9.
We're going to get a picture. I get to sound the buzzer and do all that different
Oh,
fun
you
stuff.
get to sound
Gotta go to LCA
First
tonight.
two-time horn.
I love
I'm
it.
the first 2 times because I did it on
Hey,
the opening day.
Now
so.
tonight,
This guy's
is
a
my
man.
bowling night at Harbor Lanes, 10 Mile and Jefferson in the Shores. You're going to be at my house on Saturday night. Tell everyone what they got to look for.
Look at everybody's going, DMac Bowls too?
Hey, DMac's
no,
everywhere,
that's
man.
not it. DMac's doing a slapstick comedy show in Tom Mazaway's backyard at his Bowlerama. I said, can we get a few games in before?
We can. Harbor Lanes.
Harbor Lanes.
St.
and
Clair Shores, 10 Mile and Jefferson.
Saturday? 8:30.
Come one, come all. Saturday night. What
8
time do you go on?
8:30, I'll go on at 9.
All right.
I'll go on at 9.
Come
and we'll
early,
talk
bowl some
about it.
games, and then go watch DMac.
Let's do it.
The legend, the myth, the man, Darren McCarty, 25.
Appreciate you guys.
Love you, brother. Always good to have
Thank
you.
you, man.
Enjoy your night, man.
You know what? And I will.
You deserve it all.
You're not
Who's
mad
coming
at me for
down?
not coming,
Thank
are
you.
you? What? You're not mad at me for not coming tonight, are you?
No, not at all.
You know what I got to do.
It's bowling, Tom.
You know what I got to do.
You know what I'm mad at?
You know
You
that's
don't throw me a 600 series.
Oh, 700, baby.
He threw 657.
I know what he did,
last
dude,
week,
but
right?
there's a lot of pressure because I just said that, so he's going to be sitting
Now
at
he's
like
gonna be-
450 after 2 games
Oh,
going,
no.
like this. Don't choke it off, man.
I won't.
650 then.
All right, brother.
All right, not just
Deal.
700.
Deal.
650.
Deal.
All right. Have a good one,
LCA
boys.
tonight. Go see your boy Darren McCarty, number 25.
Beat those Avalanche.
We will take a break and we'll get back. We'll talk some Lions. Maybe not. I don't know. The show's going all off the
Who
rails.
knows?
We're doing all different things. Look, we're just talking. At the end of the
We're
day,
having
we're just
fun.
guys having a good time. But first, let's get a message in from Swiss, or Guardian Alarm, I should say.
See that black and yellow sign out front of the house? It tells the bad guys one thing.
Stay out.
That's right. It's a new year. Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts. 24/7 professional monitoring technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology that's been proven to work and people who have been proven to care. Hey, Maz, call 1-800.
Stay out.
That's 1-800.
Stay out.
That's right. Call them today and tell them Woodward Sports sent ya.
Savor the heart of home at Big Boy with our all-new down-home comfort dishes. Feast on home-style goodness with our Southern Comfort Chicken Bowl, veal parmigiana, and apple pie hotcakes. The down-home delight doesn't stop there. Potato pancakes are back. Dive into the richness of our perfectly crafted potatoes with our classic potato pancakes and our stuffed potato pancakes. Top off your meal with our new gingerbread shake, a seamless blend of creamy vanilla and sweet gingerbread flavors. Nothing beats the comforting taste of down-home cooking. Enjoy every bite, only at Big Boy.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
Come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Hey guys, you know what time it is. It is time for Jack Labrador. Click on that QR code right above my bald head, and that's good. You're going to take you to jacklabrador.gg for all the details on how to play this game. If you're still playing rock, paper, scissors, if your kids are still playing that, you got to teach them to step up their game. Play Jack Labrador instead. In lieu of rock, paper, scissors, 2 new symbols and a franchise-changing 3-point play. Get all of that information at jacklabrador.gg. This is called the Champions Deck. We open it up. It's a beautiful thing. Make it $20 for you right now online at jacklabrador.gg. Not only do you play that game, but you can play 3 other games: the Motor City Showdown, Spell My Name, and Pink Slip. It's for ages 8 and up. 2 players. You can play in less than 15 minutes, or you can extend it as long as you want. jacklabrador.gg for more information. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you. And we're back. Woodward Sports, Ermanni, Edwards, and Maz. We got Anson in the house today. Ryan's on vacay with the family. Happy for him. Sad for us. We always miss him, of course. We got Prickly Pete Spivak in the booth. We got JB. We love JB.
You're not going to believe what just happened.
What happened?
The Maz cam just froze.
Come on.
I'm not kidding.
Well, you got to fix it somehow.
I know. I'm hoping to do it before,
or
you know.
Or you're going to have to shoot the overhead camera
We
again.
might have to,
somehow.
but I'm going to do my best here.
Dr. Pierce is going to come on in a few minutes here, so we got to do that. But in the meantime, guys, Matthew Stafford. Yes, you remember him. And you know Kelly Stafford. She has a podcast. I think it's called The Morning After. And she does it with our local guy here, Hank Winchester. We love Hank. So Hank and Mrs. Stafford have their interview, and guess what? They had Matthew Stafford in this past week. And Hank got on the subject of our own Detroit Lions. Give it a listen.
I mean, being here in Detroit, it would be crazy if I didn't ask you this, but what do you think about Dan Campbell? I mean, people always just talk about what an incredible coach he is, and it just seems like you two would have an incredible rhythm because I like his energy.
Yeah, no, he's from afar. Seems like a player's coach. Guys love playing for him. He's aggressive as it gets.
Which has got to be fun as a player.
That's what I'm saying. Like, feel like your coach is putting the ball in your hand. I got a chance to talk to him before I left. He just wanted to talk to me a little bit, pick my brain about some of the stuff around there, and I spent an hour, maybe an hour and a half talking to him. And
I remember you.
I came away. I was like, man, I don't know, what the team will look like, whatever, but he's a engaging guy to talk to. I think he does a great job with the media, and then obviously does a great job in his locker room. He cares a lot, and I think one of the biggest things that head coaches that have success in the league is authentic, and that can be you can be authentic and be Dan Campbell, or you can be authentic and be Andy Reid, and they're just polar opposites, right? But it plays in the locker room because you can't sit there and fake it. There's too many eyes on you. Guys will call you out, and it won't work. And those guys are two of the most authentic guys as it gets, and it works for their team.
Were you surprised by the Lions' success this year?
No, I thought they were built for it. No, I mean, you never know how far they're going to go, all that, but the fact that they're a good team, that didn't surprise me at all. I mean, that their offensive line is really talented. When they got both the backs going, Jared was playing at a really good clip. It takes some emergence, right? It takes that rookie class that they had was really, really good. I mean, I put it up against, ours was great as well. Two of the teams that had success in the league had a bunch of rookies that were playing at a high clip, and those guys showed up for their team for sure.
Is the issue now, though, and Kelly mentioned this before, and Campbell did it in a way too, they can't fly under the radar anymore.
Yeah, you're going to get everybody's best shot.
Cat's out of the bag.
Yeah, but you know what? You're getting everybody's best shot in the playoffs, and they handled themselves fine. So,
here you go. A little snippet from the Kelly Stafford and Hank Winchester morning after podcast. They had Matthew on. Anson, you heard some of that, and basically Hank asked them some Detroit-centric, some Lion questions, asked him about Dan Campbell, what kind of coach he was. And Matthew says, well, obviously, he looks like he's a player's coach, especially from afar. I don't really know him that well. But before Matthew left Detroit, he spent an hour and a half talking with Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell picked his brain on the team and what he can look forward to with this club.
I mean, I would hope that somebody would do that, and a good coach would do that. I'm still bitter at Matt Stafford. I have been I've been a Matt Stafford apologist, supporter. I have trumpeted the fact that he will be in the Hall of Fame even before he won his ring. But I am a patriotic Detroiter. I love my city. Yeah. And when you're given an opportunity, and I understand the emotional state that he was in when he was given that question about being happy for the Detroit fans, and he went out of his way to not say that he was happy for them. I get it, man. You're upset. You just lost a game that you played really well.
His wife got in his ear prior to that. You know that.
And you honestly, though, you just watched somebody do something that you could never do your entire career, which is win a playoff game here in Detroit. He wanted that game bad, and he was bitter. Yeah. But I'm going to tell you this. All the people in Detroit that were wearing Detroit Rams shirts when he made his run that were supporting him without question.
They meant well.
Yeah, and I'm sorry. You had your opportunity. I don't care how butthurt you were over the loss. You squandered it. And you lost me as a fan forever, flat out.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. You like you said, you talked about, I saw your sentiment when you were talking to DMac just 2 seconds ago. You love your city, you love Detroit. I agree 100%. It's just one of those things. We're playing devil's advocate. You're looking at a guy, obviously, who couldn't get it done, like you said. There's a little bit of jealousy there in Jared Goff and what the Lions were able to accomplish. He's a girl dad, and Kelly's in his ear. We all know Kelly. We know how she is with Matt. Matt, as he should. He's a husband. Yeah. Got to take after your girls. Got to take care of your girls. And, if you get a little verbiage in your ear, like, oh my God, you cannot believe they were doing this, and they blah blah blah. I think in a moment I've had. Let's put it this way. There was a situation that I got into with another athlete, not even him, but a friend of his, if you will, when the athlete was asked about it, like he was asked spur of the moment, just getting information, and he made some comments that he shouldn't have made, and it had nothing to do with me. He was wrong about the comments, but I never really checked it. I was like, you know what? It's in the moment. It was heat in the moment. You get it. So I think in the heat of the moment, you're getting some information. Like he felt the type of way, and he reacted. He's coming off a loss. He's pissed. He had 347 yards, 2 touchdowns, blah,
he
blah,
played
blah.
well.
But here's why I agree with you, Anson, is a day later, 2 days later, a week later, this interview, now is your chance to say, hey, you know what, look, in the heat of the moment, you know, look, I should have said, you know, congratulations, see, I just got my ass whooped by the team. I didn't want to do that. That never happened.
Never.
And that's where you bring up the Detroit Rams, which I thought was the silliest thing of all time. But a lot of people
understand it a little, don't you?
I do. No, 100%. I understand it. I support it. I understand now from that point because he didn't come back. He didn't come back to the podium. He didn't come back to the podcast. He didn't come back to Twitter and say, I could have done things differently. He stood on it. So when you stand on it, now I agree with Anson and all the other Detroit fans is like, well, I'm going to stand on my opinion. You F you or screw you, however you want to do it. So I agree with Anson.
The look on his face during that interview was the same look he had on his face after he got his ass whooped in Detroit.
He didn't want to talk about if Hank didn't bring up the Lions, Kelly certainly wasn't going to bring up
to be fair, though, being a Lion's a very difficult and hard memory for the majority of past Lions. And for it to go, I mean, he's still got his ring, but for it to go the way that he always wanted it to go, but for somebody else, that's a tough pill to swallow, and he's certainly not looking to swallow it anytime soon.
And man, he just ended up. I gotta stop agreeing with Anson. What is going on today, man?
I know we
never
might have became best friends today.
100%, we're agreeing on everything.
Well, once he saw you go 120 miles an hour,
he became my friend.
That's it.
He became my friend. I think it's when he heard about how bad the Ohio State fans were when I was in Cleveland.
Exactly.
But you said it again. You got your ring. There's no reason to hate. Like if Matt Stafford would have went out to Los Angeles, made the playoffs, didn't win a playoff game, or won one playoff game, I somewhat get it a little bit. You won a Super Bowl.
No reason to be bitter.
No reason.
We set you free.
We set you free. You got a ring, and now you're definitely getting into the Hall of Fame. Like, there's no reason to be bitter, especially a month later. There's no reason for that.
No, not at all. And I guess he's going to carry that with him. You know, it's going to be part of him.
He clearly never understood the Detroit fan base. Period.
Yeah, this is true. And now it's sour taste. Because I actually thought Matt would probably retire in Michigan. I was thinking he'd move back or something, but now you know it's Texas or LA.
That ain't happening.
Yeah, it's Texas or LA. He's a Texan, right? So yeah, Texas or LA.
We'll see, man. But Jared Goff outdueled him that day, and it's probably gonna burn him for a long time. There's no doubt about it.
He still had a hell of a game.
He did. Puka Nacua had a great game. You know why?
Because our secondary is trash.
Because they let him have a good game.
Yeah.
And they concentrate on everything else.
Yeah,
Kyron Williams, who?
They let him. They let Justin Jefferson. They let Mike Evans.
Yeah. And they won those games.
This is true. They
did the best. Aaron Glenn did the best job possible with the talent that he had. And you weren't here yesterday when we talked about they released Tracy Walker. Tracy Walker
we knew that was going to happen.
Had a good career here, a beloved guy, and they saved $5.5 million on the cap. So now they have, like $56.5 million in cap space. And if they re-sign Goff or somebody else like Penei Sewell or someone like that, they'll even free up more cap space that way because you can move the contracts. Yeah.
The big three got to be re-signed and extended.
No doubt.
That absolutely has to happen. Penei, Amon-Ra first down, and Mr. Goff. That needs to happen.
We already think it's going to be 3 years, $75 million on top of things.
Worth every penny.
Hey, Anson, we got to ask you to step out of the mask chair for a few minutes.
I'm happy to do so. We've got a great guest coming on, don't we?
Because our guy, Dr. Jeff Pierce, is coming on.
That'll be interesting. Before we get to I want to just real quick, I don't know if that deal is going to happen because you look at Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's worth more than $25 million. I think that could get interesting. You look at guys like Christian Kirk got 24.
Oh, no. I got to stop you right here. And I've been saying this for 2 seasons now. I told you Ben Johnson wasn't leaving. I told everybody last season. Okay. I told everybody again he wasn't leaving this year. Don't sleep on a bunch of guys in this team.
Taking cut pickers?
Absolutely.
Okay.
A la Tom Brady and the Patriots. That's how you keep a team together. Greed or win.
He already had made his money.
Well, sure, but these guys know this is something different. They've bought in. They bought into more than just the Lions. They bought into the city and the fan base, and they want to do something special. And the only way to do that is to not be greedy.
Quick question before we get Doc in.
Sure.
Same division. There's a big thing going on. The number 1 pick in the draft is Chicago Bears. They have Justin Fields, who's going into his 5th year, but Caleb Williams is on the board. If you are Ryan Poles, GM, Chicago Bears, are you keeping Justin Fields and dealing the one to add to your team? Or are you taking Caleb Williams and buying into the hype? We did talk about Caleb earlier.
The largest indicator of failure in the NFL is change.
Okay.
I think we argued this yesterday. I believe in Justin Fields. The guy's never had any weapons. He finally got one last year and more, and you saw what the guy can do. You give him a little bit more. You keep the system that's in place, and the Lions should be fearing the Bears next year as well as the Packers, as well as the Vikings. If they change and they get all that capital and they move him, I still like what they can do, but I don't think it happens. I don't think it starts next season. So if I was there, I'd be keeping my man, Justin Fields.
You know what? That's becoming a train of thought. I am tending to change my ways, and maybe I have to agree with Ryan and Monty on that and Anson. For yet again. Agree with you. I may do that. Let's take a quick break. Let's hear from Premier Pet, and then after that, let's get into the doc, man, and see what's going on in the offseason, man.
You got it. We'll talk some Tigers as I'm watching the first Grapefruit League game. Actually, Cactus League game between the Dodgers and the Padres. It warms my heart. So does Premier Pet Supply. Do not settle for less when it comes to your pet. My guy Jeter, we get it all from Premier Pet Supply. Michigan's best pet store, hands down, family owned and operated for over 30 years, 13 Metro Detroit locations, over 60 brands of food at the lowest prices available, curbside delivery as well. Give your pet the best, don't settle for less. Take care of your pups and kittens. Give them PremierPetSupply.com.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Savor the heart of home at Big Boy with our all-new down-home comfort dishes. Feast on home-style goodness with our Southern Comfort Chicken Bowl, veal parmigiana, and apple pie hotcakes. The down-home delight doesn't stop there. Potato pancakes are back. Dive into the richness of our perfectly crafted potatoes with our classic potato pancakes and our stuffed potato pancakes. Top off your meal with our new gingerbread shake, a seamless blend of creamy vanilla and sweet gingerbread flavors. Nothing beats the comforting taste of down-home cooking. Enjoy every bite, only at Big Boy.
Hey, Planet Fitness is your home of the judgment-free zone where anyone, and I mean anyone, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym with tons of equipment, a full body workout in just 30 minutes, and all memberships include fitness training. You get all of this with no commitment for only $10 a month.
Only $10?
Yes, only $10. Now remember, no matter where you are, there is always a Planet Fitness nearby with more than 50 locations in the Metro Detroit area and thousands more throughout the world. Find your local Planet Fitness today to join or check them out online at planetfitness.com.
That's right, PlanetFitness.com. Today is Thursday, so you know what time it is. It's time for Dr. Jeff Pierce to come in, Michigan Sports and Spine Center. Also, he's my guy. Speaking of that, when's the next time I'm getting invited to a concert, man? Remember you invited me to the Lil Wayne concert? What was that? It was 2017 or 18.
Dude, we got Sam Hunt in Grand Rapids tonight.
You got Sam Hunt? Wow.
Yeah, that's debatable.
That's 2 hours. That's 2 hours away.
Doc, you going to Grand Rapids?
I need something local.
You going to Grand Rapids?
I was thinking about it, but I don't know now.
I need you. Can you bring my daughter home for me, and so I don't have to go get her? She's at Grand.
That's not bad.
If I go, I'll definitely bring her home.
She's at Grand Valley. Where should I have her meet you?
It's not a bad.
Right at the concert.
Okay.
It's not a bad deal right there, man.
Bad deal.
Look at you setting that up. Doc, what's going on with you, man? Like the season's over, but baseball season is starting. You got some other things going on. What's new with you?
What's new with me?
What's new with you, buddy?
You know, still living that off-season stuff. Looking at the Red Wings now, I think they did get ignored. I mean, they are doing really well. I heard your bit with Darren. Darren, big shout out to him. I actually got started with him on Tuesday on his show, so a lot of love there. Just kind of, waiting for the weather to break.
Golf season.
Hitting some golf balls. But yeah, if you want to get to a concert, let me know.
Say
Live Nation, AEG, those are our people. So
yeah, I'll hit you up there. Tonight.
You want to go tonight?
No, I'm joking. I'm just messing with you.
Tonight, there's no concert. There's a Red Wing.
But see, you got to stay on top of things. If I hit you tonight, man, next time a concert comes around, I'm already be in that mental Rolodex.
You have that ability to make a phone call, too.
This is true.
Hey, Doc, I got one for you. I got a Red Wing question for you. Not only are the Red Wings vying for that number 3 spot in the East, they got that wild card right now. They're looking good. They had a great road trip. They come home tonight for the Avalanche. A guy that they took a chance on, that not a lot of teams took a chance on, is the Hall of Famer Patrick Kane. Tell me about his injuries in the past and how he has avoided getting that injured again going forward.
Yeah, I mean, he's
playing really well.
He's playing well, but it's just like the old Red Wings too. You want that seasoned veteran in the locker room. You got a lot of young guys going. Patrick, I mean, he's a fighter. He's a local kid. Why not Detroit? As far as preventative, I mean, what's he got? He's a lower body injury right now. I love hockey with upper body, lower body.
It's a hip.
It's the hip.
Yeah.
But he had the resurfacing and all that done. He did really well. I forget what month that was done, in September or something. Do we know the actual date?
Actually, I don't. But it was obviously before the season started.
Yeah, I mean, it's a resurfacing, which, it can sound really scary, resurfacing. And sometimes, people understand scopes, and, we can talk about shoulders where it's more common, where, I got scope, but I'm up and running in 2 weeks. What does that mean? They're smoothing those areas out. There's bone spurs. There's debris in there. There's little micro fractures. There's ligaments that are frayed. It's like a nice cleanup for them. So when you say resurfacing, you're actually taking the hip. You're not doing a replacement, but you're actually smoothing it out so you're not getting it. So think of it like, as you're moving through a ball and joint, which the hip and the shoulder are, when it's moving, if you have like a spur on there, which is like a thorn, you're constantly ripping on that anatomy there, which is the ligaments. Yeah. For simplicity, you're irritating. It's painful. It's inflamed. You smooth all that out again. You're now, you're getting years.
Sure.
And then we can start talking about biologics. We can start talking about PRP and stem cell, which is hopefully something he did, because I think he did, and I don't know where he did this actual surgery, but that's where we're at now. There's older orthopedic guys that don't believe in the biologics. Now it's becoming standard of care.
Is he eventually going to need a new hip?
He's probably, I wouldn't bet against it.
Right.
Depending what he does. I mean, the thing is they're so strong. We talk about core muscles of your abdomen. Everybody knows about, it's my abs, it's my low back. There's core musculature around your hip too. So when you start talking about what's important, it's these guys are so powerful between their glutes and their hamstrings and their quads. Sometimes you get some muscle imbalance that creates a problem with the dynamics of the hip. But for the most part, you're not going to know. I mean, he's going to resurfacing. Yeah, odds are he may need a hip replacement in the future.
Especially if he gets hip checked into the boards, right?
There's a lot of aggressive play for those guys. But he's one of the smarter guys. He's not aggressively playing.
He's going to avoid it if he can.
Yeah, I mean, he's a smarter individual. He's not going, like I say, through the wall anymore. He's playing for the intelligent part of the game.
Amen.
Like the professor.
It'll probably take a dirty hit really to take him out, because he's not looking for that kind of
no, he's not looking for going into the corners and fighting for the puck anymore.
No. Those days are over. Just score, Patrick.
He's waiting for the puck to come out.
Yep, score and pass and assist, and that's all.
But how about for the corner?
How about for the regular Joe like me? What's a tougher injury to recover from? A replacement of a hip or a replacement of a knee? Because I've got uncles and cousins that have already gone through these things, and each one recovers in a different way. My Uncle Joe had a hip years ago. And now this
Uncle
past
Joe with
year,
the hip, I love it.
And Uncle Joe
with the
he
hip.
is very hip, by the way. And this year he had the knee. What's the harder one? He's out golfing again.
The knee is actually a lot easier to recover from, because of the anatomy, because of where it is, because of the weight bearing. The hip takes a lot more pressure. There's a lot more anatomy around it. So definitely the knee. And the science behind the knee is so far advanced.
Yeah.
The hip's catching up. And now you're talking about shoulder replacement. Shoulder replacement 5 years ago was a huge recovery, where now it's becoming, more of a basic recovery.
Jeez.
Oh, yeah.
Elbow
everything can be replaced. The knee is probably the most common, the most understood, the most recovery. Hip is number 2, shoulders number 3, probably in that order.
I'm scared. I'm scared because
most professional players.
I feel like I know it's coming. Like, I'm not gonna wood.
Your knee?
Well, I tore my ACL in 2005. I tore my meniscus on that same knee. So that right knee.
How about that finger?
I've cleaned it up a couple times. Look, the finger. Get off my finger.
Sorry,
okay?
man.
Leave my finger alone. But also, I think I had a tibial tuberosity. I broke that when I was in high school on my left knee. So I'm dreading it, but I think I probably.
Are you a little bit shorter on the right?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Look at you.
You do a little insert in the shoe?
100. No, I never did the insert, but when I played, I had the insert. I did when I had the insert. I need to go back to that maybe.
Yeah.
Am I getting my knee? Am I getting my knee replaced?
It's all about balance, about your balance and your mechanics to preserve.
Can I just swim and do yoga?
Pardon me?
Can I just swim and do yoga?
Swim and do yoga will preserve you. I'm a little older. I'm a lot older. But we call these the preserving years. You gotta learn how to preserve yourself. Yoga, swimming, non-impact aerobic activities, huge. But the other thing, like we've pushed, and I've done lectures, and I think you've been to, one of my little side talks about being proactive with the biologics for an injury. Like if you did have an ACL, every athlete, I could say every athlete today would benefit from prevention of biologics, PRP, stem cell, help with that natural. Before it's like just wait till it wears out. Some of the older orthopedic guys wait till it wears out, it doesn't work. There's so much science behind biologics now. There's something called exosomes now. I mean, it's just the science of medicine, like we talked about it last week about where the medical team is. There's a big changes. The way you're looking at recovery, we talked about the Lions having a whole different off season that they're not used to because they played another 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
To get ready, they have to be ready. I mentioned like the Chiefs, they already got preset that we have to we're short of recovery. We don't get to lay around for as many weeks. You gotta get ready for the next season because everybody's like, oh, we're gonna be Super Bowl contenders. We gotta be healthy to be Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah, of course.
So off season right now is huge for them.
I think we talked about this last week, but I'm going to bring it up again because we talked about replacing things, knees, elbows, hip. Casey Myers is a guy that's coming back for the Tigers this year. Tommy John surgery last year. Explain for the people that don't necessarily know Tommy John surgery, like what's going to take place for Casey Myers in terms of getting implemented back into the regular rotation. Like he's a young guy, so should he be regular back to the Rocket, or is there a curve health-wise?
There's definitely a curve. If he's doing proper rehab, there's a whole development. I mean, it's first of all, Tommy John surgery obviously is not because of the surgery. It's because of the player. Back in, I think, 1971, there's a guy, Dr. Jobs, who's like the god back in California back then.
He's like that.
He perfected it. Yeah. And it's basically the inside of the elbow, right? So there's the ulnar and the radial side. So inside, we hate to call out U of M, but you remember by ulnar, the medial side, the inside of the arm.
U of M always comes back.
Yeah, there you go. That's the way we used to remember it from medical school. But it's the inside elbow. It's the ligament there that keeps that elbow locked in. So when you start thinking about when they're throwing, mostly throwing injuries is the most prevalent. Green got one on a freak injury type of thing.
He's an outfielder, but he got it on his non-throwing arm.
Which is great because it shouldn't affect. I mean, it's going to affect his batting a little bit, but his overall recovery, it's not like a pitcher where it's, his day-to-day, his money arm.
Yeah.
It's a slower recovery for him. So even looking at those two are great examples of how they're going to recover. You're talking about a pitcher that's got to go, at least 80 pitches, if not 100 pitches, coming in with all his stuff. As far as speed, he's probably going to lose a few miles per hour on his speed, but then they start learning how to throw a little bit more intelligently. But his recovery is way different as far as the pace. You slow him down. I mean, they're pretty much doing nothing for the first 6 weeks, and then we slowly get him into range of motion, then strengthening, and then proprioception's huge with them. unfortunately, there is a high level of recurrence. So to get him out prematurely would be stupid, or not intelligent. I shouldn't say stupid. But you want to slow pace him. It's where he's throwing 30, 40 pitches at about 50% is where you start. You move him to 70%. You increase his pitch count. He doesn't throw any junk. He's just throwing straight mechanics at that point. So there's a lot of smarts and recovery and training that needs to go in. It's not just like, okay, 9 months went by, just go out and go for it. There's no way you go out there and go for it, even when he's in his recovery. So it's not a 2-week process. He's recovering, throwing for a good, I want to say 4 to 6 weeks minimum.
What have you been working on lately, Doc, in the office? What are some of the injuries that are coming in? People coming in.
Out of the office.
Yeah.
Kind of everything. I mean, we were coming out of auto accidents, a lot of injuries. We're seeing a lot of whiplash. As far as, like we mentioned before, hockey season's big right now. The Weekend Warriors. So we're seeing everything. Like I said, Michigan Sports and Spine, we're big on sports injuries and spine. So we take care of the whole spine. We feel we have a different protocol. I've developed protocols over the last 25 plus years. And I've always said, I just said it to a teaching moment where everybody needs to be on the same page. We're talking about, if I'm doing with elderly or with the young kids, everybody needs to be on the same page. You got to have your therapist on the same page. You got to have the doc on the same page. Is there more than one way to skin a cat? Yeah, but if we're all on the same page, it's the most efficient way to do it. And that's really what we've done, and I've taught, like I'm giving a lecture in a couple weeks to another group of big physical therapists to explain to them how I want things done. Like it was surgeon, like you had certain surgeons, they have their protocols. It's not like cookbook therapy, cookbook medicine. I feel everybody's customized, which is upsetting to me, and I'm going on too long right now. But it's upsetting what the insurances are doing to what medicine's become. It's not like everybody fits in the peg. We individualize, and unfortunately what's happening is like, well, you have a back pain, so you need to do A, B, and C. If you can't do A, B, and C, then you can't move. You can't get an MRI. You can't go to therapy. We're gonna check you at therapy. You don't need the inject. It's just everything's so challenged, and for someone like myself that's been out for 25 years, that is considered, not to stroke my own, but I'm at a higher level of treating than some of these other guys, and to be questioned by someone on the phone that probably has nowhere near the clientele that I do, who's that to question me what I'm doing? So that's why we're going to Canada. I'm announcing it here.
Yeah?
We're here to treat the Canadians. Let them come over.
Okay.
All I hear about, we have a whole group of people from the hockey world.
DMac could help you with that.
Yeah. Well, Drapes is big for the Canadian. Yeah. DMac's big. But we are looking at that in a serious way, not to, I feel like I'm a commercial right now. But basically, it upsets me what's going on in Canada. We have people that come over. I've had professionals come over. I've had a professional hockey player out of Toronto. They can't get an MRI. They can't see a professional, like specialist for months. One of our friends, real good friends to the Red Wings, he had a little spot on his back. So he freaked out. They told him, it'll take him 6 months to get in. He ended up coming here to get treated within 2 weeks. It was precancerous. They took it off of him. He goes, in 6 months, this could have changed my whole life.
Of course.
So, we're privileged here. We're a little spoiled here, but now it's getting to a point where concierge medicine is going to be the way to go, because if you unfortunately have to be tracked into what the insurance companies are dictating, you're talking about injuries that linger on for no reason, and then you're behind. And
so we're not buying the hype of free healthcare.
Pardon me?
We're not buying the hype of free healthcare in Canada.
No, I mean,
not this free.
Not for that. So yeah,
I actually have a funny story about that. I was in Toronto. This would have been 2014. I went up there for OVO Fest, Drake's Deal, and then Carabana, right? A friend of mine got really sick. And I was like, oh, well, healthcare is free up here. Just go to the hospital. You'll be good. So he had to stay for like 2 days. And we went to the hospital. It's free, but if you go over there, like, it looked like Beirut. I was like, oh my God. Like, no wonder why it's free. But just like anything else, the more money you have,
you get more. For.
Exactly. So it's free-ish. It's free.
Right. I mean, there's a lot of smart people, especially in Toronto. There's some thought leaders in Toronto. Yeah. Windsor, I don't know what I can say about Windsor, but we're so close to Canada. It's we're looking to be able to be available to those people. And, with our MRIs and our imaging, we think we're helpful. And to be honest, for people here that are uninsured, a lot of people are going uninsured right now. They can't afford medical care. We're going to try to treat them, because my biggest soft spot is when I see a potential teenager athlete that's been mistreated because he doesn't have proper medical care. And I've done it more than...
That's awesome, Doc.
A lot over 25 years. Guys that actually have gotten scholarships that have played. That, I get the letters and everything that we hide in the back, but there's a lot of guys where we've done free care for, track stars, Olympians, pre-Olympians. Football, this guy walked in, he's 6'6", 250 at like 16 years old, with some speed, but he's flat-footed. Nobody ever showed him what to do. He didn't have foot speed. He had ongoing foot issues and back issues. 3 months later, he's like starting. It was a lot.
Doc. You were ahead of NIL.
Oh, there you go.
Dr. Pierce, NIL. I like it. I like it. Doc, remember 44 years ago, before we let you go, it's a Miracle on Ice Day.
Oh.
It's the U.S. beating the Russians.
I love it.
In the 70s. Did you watch that game?
I remember where I was.
Yeah, of course. I think most of us do. Where were you?
I was at my family home in Farmington Hills, and I was laying on the ground, the rugged, what was it called? The shag carpet.
I knew
we had the shag carpet.
Was it red? Was it red or was it mustard?
Orange.
It was actually the combo.
See, there we go.
Rusty.
I know
had
my
a little
stuff.
more orange in it with the matching couches, and the one leather chair that Dad sat in. So he was in that, and it just the fireplace going, and oh my God, that was the crazy
Amazing,
moment.
right?
Like,
Amazing.
You just sat there like, is it going to happen? What's going to happen? It's not going to,
When they got
you just
the lead,
wanted to get to that.
it was like the last 8 minutes felt like 2 hours.
Yeah, you kept like, oh, Russia's not going to just walk. How are we going to stop him?
Man.
That's funny. That folder just opened up for me.
There you go. See? That's today, February 22nd, 1980.
Just telling man, it's always crazy. It's like when I was younger, Miracle on Ice, you see it, boom, 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 boom. But it wasn't until the movie, Miracle on Ice, Kurt Russell plays Sarah Brooks, that I realized, oh wait, that wasn't even the championship game.
No.
It was the semifinals. Like I know I've said it a million times, but it's kind of like there's another game we talked about where you realize like
when Michigan beat Alabama, maybe.
Oh, that's
the recent story.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's the Red Sox. It's the Red Sox and Yanks when the ball goes through the first baseman's leg.
Oh, Bill Buckner. Yeah,
Bill Buckner.
That's Game 6.
Exactly. That's another one where you're like, it's over. No, it went Game 7.
They went Game 7, and they were losing that game too.
And came back and won.
And win that. Hey, Doc, man, thank you very much for coming in. Dr. Jeff S. Pierce. You can find him, of course, online at the MichiganSportsAndSpine.com. That's where you can find Dr. Jeff S. Pierce. Thanks as always, Doc. We'll see you next week.
All right,
you know what? Show's about to be in, so you might as well stay there. JB, we appreciate everybody for coming out. Why don't you get us out of here, JB?
Anson, sorry, bro. You lost your seat.
Anson's over there. There he is.
Oh, Anson's over there somewhere. But, we appreciate you guys all for tapping in for another episode of Ermanni, Edwards, and Mash. For myself, JB, Dr. Pierce sitting in the Mash chair, Pete Spyback, and of course Anson creeping behind him awkwardly. The birthday boy.
There he is.
Number 1, Braylon Edwards, and of course, Uncle Maz over there up there. We will catch you guys tomorrow. Have a good day.
Happy Miracle on Ice Day.
Yes, sir.
There you go.